Okay, I think we're all here by the look of it.
You sent me the cat
All the
and there's
lights
nothing in
are
it.
flashing and blinking and flashing and blinking.
You've been watching
It spits
Airplane
and
2.
sparking.
Is that the? Is that? I was trying to think what that reference was of.
That's Kirk on the moon base in Airplane 2.
That's it.
Oh, blinking and flashing. Oh, turn it
Yeah,
all off.
yeah.
Das Computermaschine ist nicht für Gefingerpoken.
That's when he says, "Let's go to the bridge." The mate boy says, "Sir, we have no bridge." What? I told her these things. Oh, that's a very underrated film, Airplane 2. And Top Secret that came after it.
Yeah, they don't make movies like that anymore.
No, they don't. I mean, they tried to, but yeah.
Political correctness ruined the film industry.
Yeah. Blue mentioning his book. I just sort of remind people of the set of science books for flirters at the level that I would understand.
General relativity for babies.
And
Astrophysics for babies. Newtonian physics for babies.
even
Quantum physics for babies. I think it's a
and I've
flirt.
also got
Okay, ABC of engineering then. Oh well, if we get Gary or SC in the side chat, we can teach him a bit of stuff out
Oh,
of it.
that'd be too advanced for SC.
Oh, would it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
what the one what any of them. Can I get rid of this now?
Yeah.
I think that's a bit big for you to trade around Jeanette.
Besides Blue, I think I'm the only other, and probably Paul, unless Paul knows what the reference is. Because I was the same as Blue over in Discord. What would you thrown the towel in? You can explain it, Farmer. To tell the audience what the towel's all about.
Right. Today, being the 25th of May, is known as International Towel Day. And it's a tribute by his fans to Douglas Adams, who did, of course, write the trilogy in 6 parts, I believe it is now, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And it's very important that you know where your towel is at all times. And I'm just, let me try and pull up the quote.
Is that
a what?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're right.
Proper way to wear your towel.
There's many ways of wearing your towel, but basically, as the end of the quote goes, any man who can hitch the length and breadth of the galaxy, rough it, slum it, struggle against terrible odds, win through, and still knows where his towel is clearly a man to be reckoned with. I know where my towel is. Do you?
Yeah. No, I just thought that might be a good way of wearing my towel.
It's a perfectly good way of wearing your towel. As long as you know where your towel is, you don't even need to be wearing it. But
no. Well, I'm currently sitting on it, but you know.
And can I just say to all of the Hitchhikers fans out there everywhere, may the force be with you.
I would also point out that today is, in addition, Greek Pride and National Tap Dance Day. Shout out SE Montreal.
Oh, dear.
Best tap dancing Greek monkey I know of.
Brings to mind a line from Aerosmith's song, Tap Dancing in the Landmine.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we might not
Dora,
be...
just
sorry.
Sorry, go on. Go for it.
No, go for Dora.
Yes, just in case I do happen to see some nice tanks and need to
Wipe the
wipe
drool.
the drool up.
Yeah. So Paul can't do his usual quiz tonight then?
Yeah, of course I can.
Oh, okay.
I'll turn the video on for that. I'll share screens and everything. That'll be fine.
Why? What's up with Paul or not? As the
Oh,
case may be.
my internet is crap. So
Again.
I'm using my phone.
Ah,
I'm just not using video at the moment.
is it?
And you're going
Is
to
it an Australian thing?
No, I think it's just
I
a
don't
Paul
know.
thing.
Yeah.
But he's getting ready for his provider.
It happened last year when the wet weather came in. So I think there's a fault in the actual line out in the street somewhere.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'm preparing for when my provider comes, you know.
Yeah.
You won't have to say to him like what happened with me. How about try plugging it in?
Yeah. Have you turned it off and on again? Yes. About 20 times.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And the damn router takes so long to boot up. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's so funny that people on the phone they saying turn your modem on and off and all this sort of stuff, and we're doing that with one technician, and he comes here and undoes the box on the wall here and changes the modem thing that's inside that box and plugs it all in, and he's on the phone to whoever he's on the phone with and turns the modem on and off, and then he still couldn't fix it, or he said it was going to be fixed or whatever, it should be kicking back in. He left, and then I said, no, still no internet. Next day, another technician comes, local one, not as from the one came before was from Sydney. Local one comes here, has a quick chat with me about it all, takes off, comes back with the photo on his phone. You see that port there on the rack where you're supposed to be plugged in with that light shining there? That's yours. Yeah, it wasn't plugged in.
You couldn't make it up, could you?
No, I couldn't. Could not.
I love having fun with the phone-in help desks. I'll always say, sir, have you tried turning it off? Well, why would I do that? I know it won't work if it's turned off. And then they said, no, sir, no. I mean, turn it off and turn it back on. Well, why would I do that? It's already on. You can chase them around in circles for a while like that till they get frustrated, and then you
I just had to change me hearing aid
have to
batteries.
actually do what they're asking.
Alright. What was we up to before I was rudely interrupted by my hearing aid headset? Oh, Paul, you're sharing your internet with too many ducks. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. You know that one lonely chicken that hatched out last time?
Mm.
Well, there's 22 more of them in the box now. I hatched out 23 out of this batch.
So did you post the clue yet, or you hadn't done that yet?
Oh, no. Here you go. Hang on.
But John Rapp's already guessed.
Has he?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even
Let's have a look and
pronounce
see
that.
what he's... He didn't even need the clue. There's the clue.
Okay. So ignore John Rapp for a minute because he didn't use the clue. Today, scientist B something was first to solve quadratic equations and the first to define the properties of the number 0. Most of his work was written as poetry rather than equations.
Ah, quadratic equations. That means
Oh,
you
this is
multiply by 4.
that Indian guy?
It is.
Yes. What, with a name like that?
Yep.
No, I just remember
He's
the
not-
number 0 thing. That was
or
an Indian
he's
guy.
from Leicester
Yeah. Or Halifax.
or Halifax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Halifax, where my ISP's call centre is. At least it's in England.
Yes, there is that.
Nice hot cuppa.
It's really weird when you get that sort of East Asian accent overlaid with Halifax.
Yeah, it's a strange combination, isn't it? I'm not even going to attempt to do it because I can't. Although bizarrely, generally, if anybody tries to do a Welsh accent, they invariably end up doing an Indian accent.
Yeah. I really won't try and do a Welsh accent. You know, being only sort of Welsh.
Oh, there's lovely, isn't it? Why's that then? I used to work with a Welshman. That was hard going.
Yeah, well, my doing accents is probably nearly as dangerous as my singing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a fair point. Well made.
Yeah. Just get ready to boot Alan if he starts singing, Farmer.
Yep, no worries.
We got any other dirt besides before we played Lindsay? Let's have a look. Probably been pretty quiet since Saturday.
Who draws to scale in model space?
I noticed somebody did a Lindsay last night. Had done a Lindsay last night. One of the larger YouTubers.
Mm.
I actually saw that Lindsay had put a new video up, and I clicked on it and then thought, whoa, hang on a minute, don't.
Mm.
But then I scrolled down to the comments.
Okay.
I think it was Lindsay anyway. Globebusters. Was it Lindsay? No, hang on, it wasn't Lindsay. Who else did I bloody look at? Hang on, let me check my history.
Okay.
Lindsay's got one out now, e-begging.
Oh, God.
What's he want? A new computer and a security camera?
I'm not quite sure. I kind of was only paying like not quite full attention to the video, and that's with farmers. I can't remember.
No, it wasn't Lindsay. Oh, who was it then? Somebody's bloody video I clicked on, and it was
Because I was really surprised that the person
I'm so sorry.
was
no, that is. Oh, God, it might have been. Oh, hang on, it might have been that other idiot. Yeah, it was. It was Carl Adams. Sorry. It was his latest one he's put up about Newton's third law and how he clearly doesn't understand Newton's third law. But the reply there from Globebusters, well, I know what one of the things we're going to talk about in tomorrow night's show is going to be. I'm so happy to have you on the GB team. Christ.
Oh, Isaac Butterfield's even got into the Amber Heard stuff.
Have you seen what it's done for Anti's channel?
I encountered some real life derp at work the other day.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The duck farm next to ours, their scales were buggered, and so they weren't weighing their ducks. So they got told off because otherwise they don't have any idea how much they've got to feed them if they don't know what they weigh.
That's fair.
And so they started weighing the ducks, and they weighed 40 birds from up one end of the shed. And I said, that's no good. because ducks are territorial. If you weigh one end of the shed, you'll only know what that end of the shed weighs. You really should be taking samples from, from all over the shed, but at least from both ends of the shed. So they weighed 40 from one end, then they weighed 20 from the other end because they couldn't be bothered weighing another 40, and then they just averaged the two averages that they got from that, right?
Right.
See any problem with that?
Lots.
Yeah. But
You can't average two averages unless the number of samples in each average is the same. Otherwise, you'll get a wrong answer.
yeah. Clever buggers, then.
Yep.
Okay, not even any decent.
Weird. The one I'm looking at isn't actually in my history. What? Oh, well. Oh, and Dora, I did watch that video about the guy with the fastest wheelchair. And yeah, I reckon electric is probably the way to go. Because I think 200 kilometers an hour should be good. Should be good with electric motors.
But it doesn't sound as cool as having a V8 powered wheelchair, Alan.
No, I know.
No.
But I'd like it to look like a wheelchair and not.
A go-kart.
Not a drag car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of. I'd like it to look as much like a standard wheelchair, or at least a racing wheelchair, as possible.
I don't know. V8 would be pretty cool.
Mm.
I agree.
With some lake pipes on it. Blower. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Zero to stupid in 2 milliseconds.
What you mean, like? You mean something like the engine in that then, Blue?
There you go. Now you're talking.
Twin superchargers.
Bloody hell.
Oh, yeah.
In a Capri?
Holy.
In a V8, it's a V8 as well.
Yeah, but in a Capri?
Yes, in a Capri. Oh, and the stupid thing is, tiny little crack in your windscreen and it's against the law. Then two bloody great superchargers and the air scoop on top, perfectly legal.
Can you see where you're going? Wow.
Sort of.
Sort of.
As long as you don't have a crack in your windshield, you'll be right.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
You know, have a relatively tiny, minor little crack in your windscreen. Oh no, that's an MOT failure. 3 points for you, sir.
And back in the day, I don't know if those cars were classed. The older cars were classed as the structural integrity with the windscreen was for those windscreens or not.
It's not the structural integrity; it's the forward vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also structural integrity. The ones that are bonded, the windscreens that are bonded into the frame, they're classed as structural integrity for the windscreen. That's why they can't have a crack in it.
There you go, Alan. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we got? I've got to swap
On
the
my
thing.
profile picture.
Add pin. Oh. Remove that
I
one.
think you might want slightly nicer wheels on the front end
There
there.
we go.
Stacked blowers. Oh, wow.
Well, at least all the weight to be in the front, so it won't chuck a wheelie.
Yeah, the video that Dora shared with me that I was commenting on, the guy put some pretty powerful, very small electric motors on his chair, and he couldn't open them right up quickly because the torque was so impressive. It just spat him over backwards.
My father, bless him, can't really walk anymore. Well, he can't walk. Been getting that way for years. So he has a variety of electric buggies and things that have generally been adapted to suit his needs, shall we say?
Yeah.
Mother was looking out the kitchen window one morning that faces across the yard towards to the barn. Dad was on one of his modified thingamajigs and just let it rip open. Spat him right off the back and left him on his back in the middle of the yard. And Mum said, I knew I had to go and help him, but for the first couple of minutes, all I could do was stand there and laugh. And he looked over and noticed she was in the kitchen laughing at him and just sort of scowled at her. What else could you do? He just flipped him straight off the back and put him on his backside on the concrete. All she could do was laugh, bless her. I said, yeah, I'd have done exactly the same. I'd have laughed and then said, yeah, maybe actually we'll go and help the old boy, you know.
Yeah. I used to know some of the guys my dad worked with in the office because we used to go fishing together. And one of the guys was rode a bike. And he'd got rid of a big 500cc single pot off-roader.
Yeah.
And bought one of those newfangled RD350 LCs.
Oh, an Elsie. Very nice.
Yes. The 350 as well, not just the 250.
Yep.
But the full-on one. Yeah. First time he tried to give it a little bit of beans from the lights. He said he was sat on the floor laughing while he watched the bike do about 100 yards before it fell over.
Oh, dear.
Because he slid off the back, let go of the throttle, which was just enough to stop it going all the way over.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
So he just sat there and watched the bike disappear down the road.
Oh, if we're still streaming, we might not have a shaky limey.
Yeah, he's got to get his new desk.
Ah.
Saw that.
Oh.
What? He's not upgrading his ironing board, is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Well, he hasn't got a car, so how's he going to pick up a desk?
Irish. No, that was pre power valve. That was the very early one. Very early LC.
Yeah, the mate who had one of the power valves. I think he owned it. He owned it as a power valve for about 6 months, and in that time, I think he crashed it 3 times, and the last one killed it.
Killed
He
him
rode it head first into a car, and we had to use an angle grind on the frame to get the engine out. And that later, that engine was donated, and it became a Yamagama RD350 power valve engine in the Suzuki RG250 aluminium frame. It was all the rage at the time because the rest of the bike was, yeah, it had it. It's 6 months, 9 months. He had that bike from brand new. Killed it.
Excuse me. So back to Nerdland. Is -7 a prime number?
Well, just going with my gut, I'd say yes, but what do I know?
Yeah, I know we've got a
What do you reckon,
50-50 chance of getting it right.
It's either, well, of course it is, or it's one of those trick questions. But without spending any time thinking about it, I'll just go -7. Yeah, I'd say that was a prime number. But
Okay. What do you reckon, Alan?
I don't know. I'm going to go with I don't know.
Well, okay. Fair enough.
Oh, that's the third choice.
What do you reckon, Terry?
Oh, I got no idea how prime numbers work, so my 50-50 guess will be no.
Okay. Blue?
Well, you got a 50-50, you're getting it
I'm-
wrong, Blue.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to stop thinking now and what Alan said. I don't know.
Okay. What do the peanuts think? Dora says she doesn't see why not.
A prime number cannot be a negative number.
That's what John Rapp reckons, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure about, which is why I went with I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Prime numbers have to have whole number multiples except for 1 and the number itself, right? But there is another condition on a prime number, and that is that it has to be greater than 1. So no, -7 is not a prime
Was
number.
I right? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, there you go, Farmer.
Not a prime.
I just went with my instinct. I wasn't going to overthink it. I just
Yeah.
However, in my defence, I'm trying to get these drainage drawings to line up properly.
Okay.
Somebody drew to scale in model space.
Drew to scale? Oh, no.
Yeah, the whole in AutoCAD, the whole point of doing everything in model space is everything's 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Always. Now, I just imported this drainage drawing, and it's like, for a start with, it's like, well, where is it? Oh, it's that little dot, and you zoom in, there's the whole drawing. It's like, hang on a minute, somebody's drawn this to scale. But it's not even a conventional scale. It was drawn at something like 1450 to 1.
To 1.
What?
Yeah. No,
Why do you do that?
Yeah.
Leave the damn machine alone, for God's sakes.
You get more detail. You get more detail out of it, wouldn't you, when you zoom in?
No, because basically I've got my drawing, and in model space, there it is on the screen. Then I imported this other drawing that somebody's just sent me and said, could you do an
A little
overlay
dot.
check?
Yeah.
Put it into my drawing, and it's a dot. It's a
little
tiny
dot.
little dot. And it's not
You don't
until you
scale.
zoom into it that, oh, there's the whole drawing. So it's, yeah, my stuff's drawn at true scale 1-to-1. They're just drawn at something like, oh, I don't know, 1450 to 1 or something stupid like that. It's just like,
So you could
Well, it's
overlay
easy
a
enough to do.
dot to your...
It's easy to fix, though. Just scale,
yeah.
point at the dot.
Wait, is it
That-
that part to scale?
Both the drawings, mine and the one I bought in, have got the same grid lines on. So if I know the distance that a chosen pair of grid lines are on mine, I can just scale what I've imported up to match that. But it's
Yeah,
just
you can
it's
do
just
it.
that
It's a
you
pain
bring
in
it
the
into the
ass, though.
drawing and you think,
Well,
where
you
is
do.
it? Where's it going?
Yeah. You will lose resolution through, all that rounding shit that goes on. That's a terrible thing to do to AutoCAD. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's,
Draw your shit full scale. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
you get your scale through your viewport in paper space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. And there's still people who can't get their heads around that. It's not complicated, but just keep everything the same scale, i.e., 1-to-1, where you do your work. But,
The only time I change scales is when I want to show a detail, and I don't scale things down. I blow them up.
Yeah.
So that you can see it better.
So while you're doing that, Farmer, we can play Lindsay.
Oh yeah, because that helped my concentration.
Send it to me. I'll fix it for you.
That's a
No,
good
I'm
idea,
not
Farmer.
even sure.
That'll lighten the load for your work. You'll get paid for it, and Blue can do it for you.
Nice. Oh Christ, that's fine.
All right, I'll go to
Something
his
ain't right.
videos. See where we're up to. Share screen. Now, what choice have we got?
It's all going to be bad.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
guarantee it.
Star rotations over flat. I think we're still working that one out, and I think his last instalment for that is physics and their many names for what just one joule something. That's that one. That's 20 minutes. Or we can skip that one, and then we can go to part one. All flat earthers must see this. I think that might be more interesting.
Is there? Did I actually hallucinate him trying to get people to send him money then?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because he had a video trying to get people to send him money for something he wants to do, but he wouldn't publish it. It was weird. I might have just been completely hallucinating.
Well, it's possible.
Is that Paul typing or Farmer?
Yep.
It's not me. I'm not typing. I'm just clicking. Yeah, and the odd command.
Okay. Lindsay speed. Check. That other road.
I was thinking, do you want to maybe make it better than Auto 360p?
Okay. Here we go. Full letter P word.
Play,
Hey.
please.
Welcome everybody, welcome to Flat Earth Philosophy. Everything's flat earth and it's all based on ancient philosophy. It comes from religion, all the ancient philosophical stories told by people like, well, they are people, Homer, Plato. Even Pythagoras knew the earth was flat, but somehow they've warped his information, I think, just like Newton. They all know it, and it's all told, and I'm just researching what we know of Homer and what he knew of the earth, and whether it was flat or whatever. So basically I've found something, I've created a video and I've put it out there. There's 35 out there, 35 people have the USB stick of the video, and it's mind-blowing. If you've been following me, you might have got a grasp on how the earth works by now. But everything I've been saying in dribs and drabs, because you can't get that in one video, and see my reading glasses, 1 second. I've tried to explain it over the last few years how the earth works, and you know, it's blowing me away too, the information I'm coming up with, and it's all buried, like I say, in ancient philosophy, religion, all sorts, and I finally got my hand, like I've been in this videos for 2 years, close to 3 years, I suppose, 2.5 years anyway, and way back, about a year ago, I cracked it, unbeknownst to me as well. But the thing is, Homer has described exactly what I've been showing. And we're thousands of years apart. They try to make out Homer came around 800 AD or whatever they say, this side of zero. But this information in the Iliad and Odyssey is thousands of years old. And what you have to realise is Greek, the original word Greek means the enlightened one. And all science and philosophy has all come from the enlightened people. That's why we know things. You open the mind up and they receive, because they get a higher frequency than the average person who hasn't woken up yet. And all our knowledge has come through these wise men. They were called Greeks.
That's right, Dora. Homer described Lindsay knowledge as dope.
Now we just come to think that Greeks are just a race of people, a few years back. But no, it's just like Jerusalem. It's not a place on earth. Jerusalem is here, the holy place inside here, going up to Jerusalem, going up the mountain. It's all within you as a man. I'm about to read something here. Before we get into it, we'll just run over a few things here. So this is the Earth model. Southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, the tropical gap. You can't say science doesn't understand the tropical gap when they know all about induction motors. Magnetic induction motors have this gap that creates the EMF. We've heard Nigel Cheese talk about the north and south poles up here. But basically, there's no poles. It's just basically a weak force and a strong force. There'll always be a weak force and a strong force to keep the circuit going. And this is what you have. And it creates this scalar wave up through the middle.
Oh, no.
Go research your physics or science and electrical engineering or whatever with two parallel wires, the magnetic field, what's happening. They don't actually tell you, I don't think they know properly. Because, even with electrical wire, they show you the electrical current, wave this way and perpendicular is the magnetic field. But they're not telling you it's basically a helix. It's flowing up the wire. That's what it is. The power's not actually in the wire, it's in that helix, the field around it. And this is what we're getting in here. You're getting a scalar wave type thing coming up through here. And like I've said before, the Great Pyramid is this.
With Lindsay so much of misunderstand of how electrics and all that work, I wouldn't even get him to change a light bulb.
You can't see electrical current in the air.
No.
Magnetic field, you can't see it. And
Wouldn't trust him.
but the pyramid, what's happening in there is doing the same thing. It's wide-based from the Earth's magnetic field, the negative field, coming to a point to absorb the atmosphere positive field. And the magic's created inside the pyramid.
Hey, Al?
So pretty sure you can't have a negative magnetic field.
Exactly.
Mm.
You mean it's not... Was it
Just
dipolar?
depends on what
Bipolar?
direction you define the positive direction as, Alan.
Sorry?
It just depends on what direction you define as the positive direction, if you're talking about directions.
Oh, and can I just add that when he was talking about about Homer and saying, they reckon it's the 8th century and it's a lot older than that. He was 8th century BC.
Not AD.
Yeah, so he's thinking, it's about 800, 800 years AD. No, it's 800 years BC. Or BCE, or whatever we have to call it these days.
Mm.
Yeah.
What a chump.
And this was even before, around the time when science wasn't really a known thing. There was more the philosophers and people like that.
A lot of the philosophers were scientists.
Mm.
That's when it was all,
Deny this gap. They can't be that dumb to not know what the tropical gap is for. Nigel Cheese is known for more than 30 years, and they've shut him down.
God.
That's the shape of the Earth. It's funny how Apple has something similar to that for their logo, don't they? Understanding everything comes out of here. All the energy, the dark energy, whatever they want to call it, the toroidal field, the ether, everything comes out of the centre Earth. Okay? And it works in this dual system. I've shown you plenty of times how it works. But the stars are different. They're just a reflection, an image from here to there. A parabolic image. So you've got the magnetic field separate to the holographic images of the stars, but they're still flowing in the same motions because it's all governed back here. They wind up and go back down. This is what they're doing every 24 hours. That's what the moon's doing over the month. It spirals up to full moon and spirals back down to the sun. The planets are all with that, but I won't go into that. But the stars, they're forming. It's because of this shape, the toroidal field, we get the curving magnetic fields and all this out here like this, because it's all spiralling out of the centre. It spirals out, then goes back in type thing. That's why we get a cardanoid effect. Not that you see that either.
Cardanoid's not a word, Lindsay.
But
Wow.
you've got to realise the southern hemisphere picture revolves all the way around the northern centre. Revolves as it rotates west, 360 degrees over 24 hours. There's always an image out south. Looking from the northern hemisphere, left and right are flipped. These are these stars. Just check out my last video. From the south, you'll see them like this, looking north. This is your southern horizon over your head. Looking north, you'll see a little bit of the northern horizon, low on the horizon. The placement of the stars are like this. But if you're looking from the north, that'll all be above your head. You'll see south in the lower horizon out south. These stars will be flipped. Now, just going over what Homer's got here, I found some sites and I'll show you in a minute. It goes into time dilation. What's time dilation? The field expansion. I've explained that. That's why they make you think you live on a ball. They say it's all coming back in to create a ball, but no, the field is expanding. So you're getting there quicker. That's all about time dilation, the field expansion, which is related to special relativity. Special relativity is man's dome of horizon, arc of horizon. He has his own arc of horizon, all relative to the observer. I'm going to show you some stuff on this phone here, that I've just found.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Look what I just found. Uh-oh.
oh, here comes the phone.
Oh boy.
Now, so I'm trying to find out what Homer, because I've done a video, right? It's mind-blowing. It's going to have to be monetized.
Yeah,
it's too big for my 3,000 subscribers. I've created them. There's 35 out there, and they'll be released, if I'm not around, that is, at a certain date. But I'll keep pushing the date out because it's going to be, I'm going to put up my bank account number. People are going to have to pay for it because
What?
it's going to end all flat earth theories and debates. It just kills the globe. And so I need to get everyone on board. I need at least 5,000 people, and it's going to cost them a bit, but they can take it and share it, and they can.
So what, you got to pay for this USB, whatever it is?
I was talking about, and it was MC Toon that actually looked at the video he's put up, asking for the money and suggesting how he's going to do it. But apparently he can't even spell the name of his bank correctly. or the or the SWIFT code, whatever it is, for international payments.
Wow. That's why PayPal's a lot easier.
Yep.
What a grifter.
So
Got a
somehow,
Christopher Lurf.
maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe they can charge on their sites, but the whole world needs to see it sort of pretty well at the same time. Otherwise, I'll shut it all down.
I've got a
Oh, yeah.
PayPal link in my description if you want to pay into that so you don't see it. Does that work?
So the videos are out there, and they'll be released anyway. But they won't be if I keep this thing going and get everyone involved. They pay, but the thing is, you're going to have to pay, but you're not going to get it right away. You're going to have to pay, and we have to wait until there's 5,000 or thereabouts people involved who have paid, so I can release the videos.
Wow.
Otherwise, they'll shut me down.
Oh, wow.
What a load
all
of
these
old bollocks.
social
Yeah.
media sites are all fixed. They're all run by the same crowd. So, and it's like, but if they shut me down YouTube, they'll probably do something to me on Facebook. I'll have to put it on, or get it on BitChute or Telegram or some other site anyway. Those are the only ones I'm familiar with. But it's going to end all flat earth debates. It just kills it. I've already told you in my videos, but no one's really clicked on because they're drawn out. I've only get about a 35-minute
The
viewing
phone's
time on
already
my
dead, Lindsay. We
films.
don't need to kill it any further.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bank account in.
13 seconds.
I could put my flat Earth proof video on a flash drive and spread that out. And how much do you reckon I'll go a target? I'll say 10,000. There you are. I'm not greedy.
I have been shilling that video out for you to people on YouTube just for the lols.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bit of a scare tactic. Shut him down. Jeez.
Number up. So watch the next video, and I'm not going to touch the money. You're going to have to trust me.
Trust you as far as
So
I
I've
can.
released the video. It's just going to have to work that way. Otherwise, no one's going to get it. Just a few people might get it. It's not. It's too big to just drop on a couple of people because my videos have been here. I've explained the truth for 2.5 years, and I've only got 3,000 subscribers. It's way too big to be lost amongst a few hundred or thousand subscribers.
So is he complaining that because he thinks he's putting out something and he's only got 3,000 subscribers, he should have more? Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It does sound like that,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
I appreciate all you guys for following me, but for me to get this out there, it's going to have to work this way.
Yeah, that's right, John. Try Pornhub, Lindsay. Apparently they don't have strict standards.
Otherwise, it'll just be shut down and buried. Because it is mind-blowing, trust me. And it's all thanks to Homer. So I went searching for what actually society knows about Homer and what he's been stating, so they can't come back and say, make up stories about we knew this or we knew that. Because it's not online, you can't find it anywhere. They didn't know it. And they can't say I plagiarised because I've done the videos. One's at least a year old, I think. And I've just bought the Homer, the Odyssey and the Iliad in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Stuck at the local warehouse. Warehouse, they call it. And I've only spent a few days reading it, and it's just blown my mind. I know exactly what he's talking about. And like I say, the Greeks, the philosophers, they're the chosen ones. You see, it's going to go into another video, and I'm going to read it. And it's the one. There's only one person. Everybody gets enlightened, but there's only one divine enlightenment, and that's the whole Jesus story. And someone's talking about the story here, which basically goes back to God gave his one and only Son to save the world. In other words, he's come to inform the rest of the world. He knows it all. He's going to tell them. That's his job. He's the one and only who can do it. All the other enlightened people, through their zodiac system, get bits and pieces and works according to their works. But there's only one divine man who knows it all, and this tells you all about it. So, shall I rush into that or go back? I might just go back and show you give you a bit of information on what I've found here. Too many guys. So, go find this. Go online and try and find that. That's interesting. That's quite a bit of
What is it? The
science.
world according to...
The other Homer.
Oh, okay.
Involved with that.
What?
Don't
Homer
be
Simpson.
fooled by the globe BS, but
If you Googled Homer, you're going to get The Simpsons.
you'll find
No.
start talking about this stuff here. This is my stuff, but you have to relate it to this. Makes sense. It's very interesting, and there's a lot of there's recordings. There's through voice recordings in here talking about things. Very interesting. And so I'm searching for whatever information they think they know or they're supposed to know. So they don't come back to me later and say, you plagiarised, or we knew this, or we knew that. Something I took a photo of here. In 3000 BC, before Common Era, the Babylonians believed the earth to be shaped like an oyster. Well, it is shaped like an oyster. Down and around like this, because it's the magnetic flux.
The world is your
Santos just
oyster.
showed me that.
Yeah,
He's
that's
right.
it.
Shaped like
That's
an
where that
oyster.
saying comes from.
Yeah, they didn't mean it literally.
Also, there's another shape like that too, but we won't go into that. Much later, 2 Greek philosophers...
Well, actually, the Earth should be square, isn't it? Because they say in the Bible something about 4 corners of the Earth. So.
Oh, the four pillars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tails, whatever you say, not Thales. And the poet Homer, 800 BCE, thought the Earth was a flat disk. As time passed, various other shapes were proposed, such as a cylinder and a cube. As late as the 16th century, the Earth was described by Christopher Columbus as a roundish pear. That's all garbage. But Homer knows, trust me. All the ancient philosophers knew, because I found it in all this detail. I thought Plato's dialogues was a buzz. This is the ultimate. And the Christian story, I always forget that name.
Yeah, that's right, Elmix. The Earth's banana shaped, because I've always thought banana shaped Earth was appealing.
It's right here. The Desire of Ages described it all. And what Homer tells us here, well, actually, it's all connected. The story I'm about to tell, which will probably go in the next video, is related to King Arthur. Because initially, a lot of this information came to the King Arthur story as well. So it's all very interesting, if you can hang in there. Now
That's written by a Frenchman.
Oh, here we go. So we've got this.
What was that, Farm?
The King Arthur legend, I believe, was written by a Frenchman.
Hmm.
He invented the story.
Okay.
We'll go back to the camera. Another screenshot I took here. Homer, little is known of him beyond the fact that he was the name attached in antiquity by the Greeks themselves to the poems. That there was an epic poet called Homer, and that he played the primary part in the shaping the Iliad and the Odyssey. So much may be said to be probable. If this assumption is accepted, then Homer must assuredly be one of the greatest of the world's literary artists, because he's basically writing the word of God, because he is the chosen one.
He's not.
And he is.
Where the hell did you get that from?
What he's writing has been around for millions of years. So whether they find it and think it's came around 800 years or not, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The fact is, what he talks of is known since Earth began.
What do you mean?
And
where did he get that from? You know where he got it from.
Hmm.
And if you touch it, be sure to wash your hands thoroughly. Okay?
I ain't touching it.
Yeah, don't touch it.
been here forever.
Yeah.
It's part of the story I'm going to read in the next video. I am of flesh and bone, though my mission stands beyond most men. I come as a chosen protector of knowledge and wisdom, an engineer of enlightenment, such that a great darkness may not befall the future of all mankind. Once again, he's the chosen one. God gave his only begotten Son to come down to save the world. So I haven't read this yet, but I'm just wondering if actually this is Homer, because I've only just come across Homer by grabbing this one book with the Iliad and the Odyssey. He might have other writings, I don't know, but maybe this is part TK4, I don't know. Or this is someone else spilling the beans, but I'm going to read it out. It's all detailed here, so bear with me. Check out how much time we got here.
How much time have I got?
Oh, you got loads of
6 minutes
time.
left, so I'll
There you
start
go.
reading it.
You
Now,
sit and come to me, then I'll be-
it's called, this is when I'm searching Homer. The Flat Earthers. The Flat Earthers, Part 3, Homer, Alexander of Macedon, is it? They don't say Macedon, it's Macedon or something or other. And Greek Philosophy, 1, Science.
Oh dear.
It's loading.
Still loading.
So
Yeah, it's
it
still
pops
loading.
up. This thing here. You've got this. And what are they showing you? The ball earth.
It's because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Go check it out yourself. Sculptures of gods and men joined in a stoic observance of the stranger from another time. You could say Tesla came from another time. Arriving with the same luminous flash and soundless thunder, TK4 promptly gathered himself with a burning sense of purpose and conviction. instinctively sought out the horizon. Though his view was dominated by the rows upon rows of magnificent marble columns that surrounded him, sculptures of gods and men joined in a stoic observance of the stranger from another time. In the serenity of the setting, TK4 failed to acknowledge he was not alone in his moment of quiet contemplation. With a bolt of light so brilliant, I'd have expected Zeus himself. Are you a mortal man? TK4 spun to face his inquisitor. I am a flesh and bone, though my mission stands beyond most men. I come as a chosen protector of knowledge and wisdom, an engineer of enlightenment, such that a great darkness may not befall the future of all mankind. The stranger eyed TK4 with a calculating look, observing no immediate threat. He stood at ease and offered his own introduction in reply. I am Alexander of Macedon, ruler of the vast empire, conquered by my own hand. Most would consider my mission to unite the lands of the known world beyond the power of men, but I appear to have proven myself more than up to the challenge. What risk now of an age of darkness then? I, Alexander the Great, student of Aristotle himself, stands here before you. So that's the Alexander story, but basically, what does he say? Ruler of a vast empire, conquered by my own hand. So it's basically telling you from within yourself. Most would consider my mission to unite the land, uniting, you have to unite the male and female, the duality to come back to the singular force within yourself.
To connect that together just from those
and that's the Egyptian story, uniting North Egypt with Southern Egypt, which is all BS. It's all man's spiritual. It's not to do with that. Consider my mission to unite the lands of the known world beyond the power of men, because it's an internal spiritual thing. But I appear to have proven myself more than up to the challenge. He's done it. What risk now of an age of darkness then I have? He's come out of darkness into the light. Alexander the Great, student of Aristotle. TK4 hesitated, grabbing together the ancient...
What's John typing out there? He's quoting something. I'm going to create man and woman with original sin. Then I'm going to impregnate a woman with myself as her child, so that I can be born. Once alive, I'll kill myself as a sacrifice to myself to save you from the sin I originally condemned you to. Ta-da!
Yeah, that's the Bible.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the Bible. Well, a very, very brief summation of the sheer nonsense that's in the New Testament, because that isn't the Old Testament, is it? Because that's a different book altogether. I found the website that he's quoting all this from.
Oh.
Yes.
And
he's completely... Well, let's watch it to the end.
Okay.
I'll fill you in on what he's missed.
Okay. Because I think there's more to it than just what he's quoting out, like cherry picking a little bit out of this.
Text in his possession, hoping his momentary loss for words would not compromise the little time he had to complete his mission. My name is TK4. I am a traveller to this time and place from the years ahead. My opportunity to share my story is short, but if you will listen to my teachings, I bring the promise of great knowledge and wisdom for you to share with your people. Alexander scoffed. What do you know of this world and our people? We, Greeks, have given birth to science and philosophy. We Greeks, because the Greeks are the wise ones. They have been enlightened. They know everything. Everything we know on earth has come from this divine enlightenment. Your pineal gland, it comes out of the water. It seeks frequencies beyond the common man. It seeks knowledge. It's out there. It's already out there. Nothing is new under the sun. We Greeks have given birth to science and philosophy. Our thinkers are renowned across the empire and will be celebrated for ages to come. These scientists you know today know nothing. They're just parrots. They've come from school, the varsities, where they're senior parrots, have parroted to them. They go out and parrot that, but they've never come up with anything. Even, you could say Einstein, maybe he had some sort of enlightenment. He didn't really have any background. I don't have any background either. I'm telling you the flipping truth. But I think Einstein was a puppet, and all the brilliant minds, all the ancient knowledge from the philosophers and that of the past, they brought down and used him as the central puppet and said, he's the amazing guy, he knew all this information.
Boom.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Crash stop.
A bit of a spoiler alert with the thumbnail that anyone managed to look at.
Oh, it was the
Yep,
that bloody thing
Can
called
you
the
say the word?
device.
I know what it is.
No, because I can't remember what it's called.
I know. I'm not
Well,
going
I
to.
should
I'm
hope
not
so.
going to
You've
tell
got the
you.
thumbnail out.
No, now you got me forgetting it.
Yeah, something like that. Is it the Antikythera?
Yeah, it's something like that. Now I can't remember the
Antikythera
wording
device.
for it. Yeah, that's it.
The Antikythera Mechanism.
Yeah, that's it.
Lindsay made the mistake of showing us his mobile phone. Lindsay made the mistake of showing us
I've
that.
got to put everyone back. Stop share.
Oh.
There we go.
Put us all back. He went to a website called iScience, the science magazine of Imperial College.
Mm-hmm.
He had clicked on the third part of a three-part story where you travel in time with the Truth Keepers as they carry out their mission to right the purported misbeliefs of the past. This is what you find out if you go back to part 1. That's why TK4 is there's a group of 4 timekeepers. And in these 3 short stories, you encounter at least TK4 and TK2. Let me just read you the start to this, this short story that he's quoting from. In the not too distant future, a new age of darkness has befallen the planet Earth and its people. The age of information, a time of boundless data and instant access to knowledge, proved a curse to man. Lacking order in this chaos of abundance and shunning education and expertise, society crumbled as the boundaries between fact and fiction, truth and fake news were blurred and bent out of shape. Now humanity's only hope lies in the tireless efforts of a chosen few. The Truth Keepers, adventurers across time, seek to restore humanity's faith in facts, wisdom and enlightenment. Carrying scattered remnants of knowledge from the past, each has vowed to seek out and destroy ignorance and superstition and help humanity avoid the same destructive path witnessed before the Great Fall. And this is part 1 of the story, Flat Earthers. Who are they throughout history? So they're basically, this story is written as if the Flat Earthers have sort of taken over and gained control and everybody's reverted to idiocracy, basically. They're all gone bloody stupid.
Yeah.
And that's what he was reading from. He was reading from the third part. The second part, the website's a bit slow. Part 2, Irving, the Church and Columbus. And that has such, and that's TK3 story. And then part 3 is indeed Homer Alexander of Macedon. He did manage to read it right in the end, and Greek philosophy. And that's TK4, has traveled back to the time of the ancient Greeks. But they're trying to make right the wrong of flat earthers having taken over and everybody becoming bloody stupid. And somehow Lindsay seems to have missed that completely.
Yeah.
So basically, he's reading from a work of fiction.
Yes.
But which university site is it on?
It's the magazine. The website is called iScience, or isciencemag.co.uk, and it's the science magazine of Imperial College.
Okay, so it's yeah. It's a bit of light relief.
Correct.
In a magazine that is not a journal.
This is written by Poppy Lambert, who's studying for an MSc in Science Communication at the Imperial College, which is, of course, in London.
Yeah. I mean, Imperial's a pretty dang good college if you want to do any sort of engineering, isn't it?
Yes.
Or
Correct.
science.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did actually apply myself because I had a spare slot when I was applying to university. Didn't even get an interview. Wasn't surprised.
But yeah, quite how he's managed to dig this one up, I don't know. But I mean, he's just so completely wrong about Homer.
Well, that Antikythera Mechanism, that proves that Greeks were a bit more smarter than what Lindsay thinks they were.
Yeah. They were clever cookies.
I think implies more than proves, but
that. Don't need that tab. And we'll listen to Antoff later about that mechanism. That's why I've got that on my thumbnail. Well, that all ties together then, doesn't it?
Whoa!
That was a coincidence.
My God, he's done his homework. Whoa.
Me? Do I plan? No,
Yeah.
I don't plan.
Wow.
Shush, don't tell the peanuts. Don't tell the peanuts.
Don't tell them that.
No, don't
Tell
tell
me.
The peanuts will revolt if they find out if...
I've seen them.
Okay.
And I need something extra bouncy to get over that.
But a different
You
type
ready
of
for a quiz?
mechanism.
Yeah. Ready for a hard quiz?
Yeah, I'm going to go make coffee.
Oh dear.
Well, give it a go.
All right.
Oh, airbags. Well, close. That's fun bags, but you know.
I just wish it would play smoothly for me.
Oh, I bet they're smooth.
But that's the whole point. It's not a smooth ride.
But it's yes, but the video's kind of stuttering a bit.
Just needs a bit more rebound damping, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think
You know that bit at the start of Blues videos where he says, push the monitor out of punching range?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the opposite, isn't it? Pull
Yep.
the monitor within kissing range.
Oh. I'm a kissing me monitor. I have to clean it afterwards.
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right, let's go. Let's go. Question 1. A couple of hard ones to start with, and then it'll ease off a bit. All right. Okay. By evading back action effects, the cross-Kerr effect can be used to perform this process in a manner that satisfies QND requirements. What is this process?
Oh, well, that's so bloody obvious.
It is.
Is he asked?
So we'll follow that up with another clue. Yeah. In the POVM representation of this process, the positive semi-definite operators associated with it are not required to be orthogonal. What is this process? Now, you all carry out this process. It's something you do every day.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. All right. Misra and Sudashan first theorized that decay processes can be inhibited by rapidly performing this process. How can you stop something from decaying? It's not the decay in the biological sense, decay in the physics sense. So apparently Oris Stew undoes bra straps every day.
Does he?
Yeah.
Something you want to tell us, Irish?
Yeah.
Do you happen to have a penchant for wearing ladies' underwear, by any chance? I mean, I'm not criticising you, you know, each to their own.
Yeah. Each to his own. The orthodox theory of this process treats it as a projection of the original state onto a particular eigenstate. What is this process?
I'm sorry, have we gone all lemon bird?
It's not microwave decay. No, it's not freezing. It's not... Oh, Carl's kind of onto it. It's not hearing. By showing that interactions with the environment suppress interference terms, decoherence theory explains why this process is not a problem in practice. What is this process? It's not entropy. It's not time. Okay, another quick clue. Commonly described as the collapse of the wave function, this process finds the values of observables. What is this process? We're starting to get to the easier clues now.
Are we?
Not vision, Alan, but it's related to that. Okay. Name this process that cannot be performed simultaneously to determine a particle's position and momentum. What is this process? It's not breathing. It might go to... No, this was the hard one.
He did say a couple of hard ones.
This was the hard one, Carl Edwards, not the easy one. All right. It's not uncertainty. We'll go down to the picture clue on this one. That is correct, Blue. Yes. Yeah, they've got it out in the peanuts now too. Carl Edwards, followed by Carl Edwards.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Rapp's got it right too. That's the other word I would have used for it as well. It's either measurement or observation. Okay. Measurement or
Fair
observation.
enough.
Well done. Yeah. Okay, another one. State-of-the-art laboratory studies of this process use continuous flow streamwise thermal gradient counters manufactured by DMT, but it was first studied by amateur scientist John Aitken using conoscopes. You're all going to go and look up what a conoscope is now, right?
Nah, it's cheating.
Yeah. What is this process? Okay. Charlson, Lovelock, Andrier, and Warren proposed that increased production of dimethyl sulfide decreases forcing because
Is the dark
rate
side of
this process increases. What was that, Terry?
Sorry, man, Dan.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't bring him into this. This process creates visible features in swirling eddies called rotors that are found underneath the crests of Lee waves. What is this process? It's not fermentation. No. Okay, this process often begins at the LCL, which can be found on a skew-T diagram at the intersection of a mixing ratio line and a dry adiabat. What is this process? It's not pollution. No. It's not vortex creation. No. You've been watching too much Lindsay, Alan.
Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
the clue did basically describe vortexes, didn't it?
Yeah. Hygroscopic aerosols, about 0.1 microns in diameter, serve as nuclei for this process. What is this process? Yeah, and what's formed as a result of that, Blue?
Would that be
This
it?
process occurs when orographic lift forces air parcels to rise and cool. What is this process? Not hurricanes, not diffusion, not pollution. Hey, someone's got it right. Name this meteorological process that creates masses of liquid droplets. Alan's got it right now. Big Blue's got it right. Yes, and we've all got it right out in the peanuts now. But I think Carl Edwards got it first out there. Well done, Carl. 2 for 2 so far. It is cloud formation. Yeah. All right. Now for a few that are a little bit easier. Sticky rice mixed with this ingredient is coated in peanut powder and served on a stick in a popular Taiwanese street food. What is this ingredient?
I've never eaten Thai.
No?
No.
Okay.
Taiwanese even, not Thai.
I'll stick to Chinese, thank you, or preferably Indian,
Well,
Okay.
Taiwanese is kind of Chinese, isn't it?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Just on an island.
This ingredient is whipped and mixed with Pilsner, flour and eggs to make a pancake, to make a namesake type of pancake enjoyed in Scandinavia. What is this ingredient?
I haven't got a clue.
Not yet.
No.
Okay. You will get it by the end of the clues. I know you will. This base is flavoured with cognac and lemon to make the Rouennaise sauce served with canard la presse. What is this ingredient? It's not dog. It's not salt. It's not grasshopper or honey. It's not hake. It's not fish. No. A mixture of vinegar, and this ingredient is the signature ingredient in the Portuguese dish cabidela. What is this ingredient?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not cream, farmer's.
No, well, all meals I've never heard of, sauces I've never heard of.
Oh, you.
Oh, we go. Filipino and Polish.
You will have got it. The Filipino dinuguan and the Polish czernina are soups that use this ingredient as a base.
Christ knows.
We do have a correct answer out in the peanuts. A class of foods named for this ingredient includes the Latin American morchilla and the European casanca. What is this ingredient? It's not cheese, no.
It's not very British, is
Not
it?
goose liver, it's not chicken, it's not duck liver, and it's not cheese. No.
But it's not British as
Grains,
far.
fats, and spices are mixed with this liquid to
Oh.
make black pudding.
Well, no wonder I didn't know any of them. I ain't touching that with a 40-foot pole.
You know what it is now, don't
It's
you?
disgusting. It's
That is
vile and
correct, Big
disgusting.
Blue. That's correct, Alan Evans. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't do black pudding either,
No,
farmers.
you must be joking. I don't do black pudding. You're having a laugh,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Because we're soft and southern, aren't we?
But
No,
Judy
that's-
Bassett got it first.
Ew.
Judy Bassett out in the Peanuts got it some time ago. Well done, Judy.
I'm not a bleeding vampire.
I'm not
Name
eating
this
that shit
animal
if you
derived
don't
liquid
tell
used
me.
to make a namesake type of sausage when it is allowed to coagulate. It is blood.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not that
Blood.
desperate.
No,
Yeah, no,
No.
I'm not really into
No.
that either.
No.
no.
My sister tried to feed me black pudding once. And
Where's that
told her off.
cow's no thing when you need it? Soundboard thing.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
No.
No.
We're
no.
going to open that up this morning.
Okay, question 4. A 2007 CGSIC conference in Fort Worth established a voting timetable for the abolition of these events, ultimately to be decided by the ITU in 2012. But that decision was deferred until 2015 and then 2023. What is this event?
Well, we don't know what the CGSIC and the ITU is.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think
because
I know
if you
what
did
the
know what they
ITU
were, you
is.
probably would know what this event was, right?
I think I know
That's
the
the whole
ITU.
point of a hard clue. Okay. Amazon and Google servers used a smearing technique to deal with one of these events in 2016 that caused outages on Reddit and Gawker. What was this event? It's not international telephony, no. It's not unionisation, no. It's not the moon landing launch, no. 2 of these events occurred in 1972, the first year they began to be implemented on either June the 30th or December the 31st. What are these events? It's not daylight savings time. No. It's not denial of service attacks. No.
And I had that in 1972.
Yeah. The GPS and tau timescales are not affected by these events, which are added or subtracted to DUT, calculated by taking the difference between the UT1 and UTC. What are these events? Alan Evans has got it right. And there's a peanut out there that's got it right too. Big Blue's got it right too now. And well done to Dora, who got it first out in peanuts. It is the leap second.
Oh.
Yeah. IERS makes these adjustments to account for the slowing of the Earth's rotation, causing a deviation from the time measured by atomic clocks. Yeah, name these small adjustments made to Universal Standard Time. It is the leap second. Yeah.
And when we start living on Mars, we'll have to have a leap half hour
Yeah.
every day because a Martian day is 24 and a half hours long.
Okay, question 5. An innovation in the production of this good involved reusing waste products known as clinkers in a certain reverberatory apparatus. What is this good?
Is it goods or good?
Good.
It's not wool, but the industrialist cockerel family is largely responsible for the flourishing of an industry producing this good in early 19th century Belgium. What is this good? It's not polishing something, no. Professor Phil Bell, WTF, the Earth rotates? Yeah. The potting and stamping processes developed by the Wood brothers greatly improved the efficiency in making this product, which was mass exported by the former clockmaker Benjamin Huntsman. What is this good? It's not bricks, it's not coal. No. The innovation of Henry Quartz puddling and rolling system improved the quality of this good so much that formerly prominent imports of it from Sweden ceased. What is this good? It's not glass, Alan, no. Abraham Darby was the first to use coke as the reducing agent in the production of this stuff in blast furnaces. What is it? It's not plywood. Not steel, Alan. Not silicon, Terry, no. But you're close, Alan. But it's not steel.
Any better?
Not stainless steel, farmer's boy, no. That's better, Alan, yeah. Not cast steel. Dora's got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I see the Swedish
Stainless
link now.
metal smelted from magnetite during the Industrial Revolution to make its low-quality pig form.
Yeah.
It is iron.
Yeah.
Well done, Dora.
I should have waited
You
for
have
the last
two.
clue.
Yeah. Iron was the correct answer, which is different from steel.
Yes.
Okay, question 6. The properties of these substances are measured by 4-ball testers and SRV instruments, which stand for Schwingen, Reibung, Verschleiß. What are these substances? And who uses a 4-ball test?
Yeah.
Somebody who's got
You
4
need 2
balls.
blokes for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. 2 people.
Not fluffers.
Fluffers.
not cupping. Oh dear. Pour point depressants, which inhibit wax formation, and extreme pressure additives, which include chlorinated or sulfurized fatty acids, are used to augment these substances. What are they?
Blimey.
Not sausage makers. Not viscosity. No. The slope of lines for these substances on plots of a quantity measured in centistokes versus temperature is their viscosity index. John Rapp must have been ESPing the next clue. What are these substances? They're not brandy makers, no. These substances' lambda ratio equals their thickness over surface roughness. What are these substances? That is correct, Alan Evans. Well done. They're not candles, they're not Flurf's brains. Big Blue's got it right too. Well done. Molybdenum disulfide is a solid used as one of these substances. What are these substances? In the hydrodynamic regime, these substances prevent asperity contacts. And your last clue is the shape of a Strybeck curve varies with the thickness of these substances that usually contain additives to reduce wear and corrosion. Name these substances that reduce friction between sliding surfaces. They are, well done, the crumpy old gunt. I would accept oils maybe. But oils is just one class of these substances. The word I was actually looking for is lubricants.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
No, my prostate's fine, thank you. Don't you worry about it.
I hope they warm that liquid up first.
No.
7. In this region, gradually riskier acceptances are pursued by members of an internet-centred meetup culture that is the subject of a 2016 novel titled A Stroll to This Area. What is this area or region? No.
No.
University of Portsmouth Professor Jim Smith has led an endeavour to produce a specialty moonshine made entirely from ingredients found in this region. What is this region? Not the Bermuda Triangle, no. A statue of a trumpeting angel made of steel rebar can be found in this region, which titles the 2019 debut book by Adam Higginbotham. What is this region?
Anywhere.
No?
No.
Okay. Tours to this region visit the Azure indoor swimming pool, as well as a set of bumper cars and an iconic yellow Ferris wheel. Where is this? What is this region?
Oh, it's tip of my tongue. I know it.
Yeah.
Alan,
I think
that's
I
a
went
great
with the fact that
spelling.
it doesn't exist, but then realised
Alan's written Chernobyl.
Yeah. Well, I thought we did spelling shame on this show.
Yeah.
Spelt like that, isn't it?
That's the way it's spelt. Yeah. Yes, Farmer's Boy.
April
And
1986.
I think it was the first one out there with it was Don Giovanni. But it's not actually just Chernobyl that I was after here for the answer. It was more than that. The new shelter, the world's largest movable metal structure, surrounds an older sarcophagus in this region, whose construction followed the evacuation of Pripyat. Yeah, name this European region, designated as hazardous following a 1986 nuclear disaster. It is the Chernobyl exclusion zone. But I would accept Chernobyl as the answer for that.
It was the
Close
Ferris.
enough.
It was the bumper cars and the Ferris wheel. Now,
Yeah.
which was it? Medal of Honor or was it Call of Duty? Has that in it? A very
I don't
accurately presented map is in one of those first-person shooter games because I used to play it. Can't think which bloody game it was.
Yeah. Okay. Question 8. The 2017 London revival of this musical begins with an electric guitar melody over footage of yellow vest protests before a group of onstage protesters in black hoodies clash with riot police. What is this musical?
Oh God, musicals!
I'm expecting this one will go off reasonably quickly.
I don't do musicals. Oh no, Sergey, it's a musical.
Yeah. In the first number of this musical's second act, a chorus of revellers sing, "Look at all my trials and tribulations, sinking in a gentle pool of wine." Not Les Miserables. No.
Not Les
Not
Mis.
Call of Duty. Not Hair. No. Not Yellow Submarine. No. Mike D'Abo of Manfred Mann first sang a vaudeville-inspired song from this musical, which includes the punning line, "I'm sure that you can rock the cynics if you try." What is the musical?
I'm not well up on Manfred Mann either.
No? Okay.
Not really.
Toward the end of this musical, a repetitive guitar riff plays each time a man shouts a number as he counts up to 39.
No.
Not No Sleep Till Hammersmith? No. I am pretty clueless, says Carl Edwards. You will get it. The only female character in this musical anoints the title character with oil during the song "Everything's All Right," and later sings "I Don't Know How to Love Him." What is this musical?
Not
Ricky Horror Picture Show.
Ricky Horror.
Yeah.
I like that.
We have a winner chicken dinner. Name this Tim Rice and Anthony Lloyd Webber rock musical about the Messiah. It is, as Dora states, Jesus Christ Superstar.
No.
Yes.
I've heard of it,
Well
but
done, Dora.
if you put
Very
a gun
good,
to me head,
close.
I still wouldn't watch it. I'd say pull the bloody trigger.
Yeah, I was
You must
close.
be joking.
That would have been me second. That was me first guess, the Jesus Christ one. But I thought was that one or was it the other one?
I'm sorry. Anything involving Andrew Lloyd Webber is to be avoided at all costs.
Okay. Question 9. The equation for small fluctuations of this field in Fourier space has the non-zero source term -1/2 times the Fourier transform of the metric times the derivative of this field with respect to conformal time.
Oh, I've got to go and make another coffee, do I?
It might be that. It's a possibility, says Lemon.
How's your cup of gum, Farmer?
I'm
What
going
is
to
this
have to make
field?
another one soon because I've now got a meeting at 2:30 as well as 3:00. So
And
Whether
it
this
is
field
2:00
starts as
now.
almost constant or slowly settles
Yeah.
down to a constant value distinguishes freezing and thawing models of it. What is this field? No? Okay. A model of this field predicts that it transitions between a tracker solution and a new attractor solution at the onset of the matter-dominated era. That model addresses Paul Steinhardt's cosmic coincidence problem. What is this field? It's not the gravitational field, Carl. No.
Football field.
Yay!
No, it's a more modern day field than that. Something proposed in the more modern era. Unlike phantom energy, this field's ratio of pressure to energy density, or little w, ranges from 0 to -1. What is this field? It's not Glastonbury field, no.
my dad's field,
It's not the Higgs field,
the
no.
one with the peas in it.
This time-varying field with negative pressure is an alternative to the cosmological constant. What is this field? You're on the right track, Dora. But what's it called? What's the name given to it?
Strawberry field.
Jeff.
It's not the Lindsay model, no.
It's called Jeff.
Dark energy is modelled by what field, whose name is Latin for fifth element?
Multipass.
It starts with a Q.
Ah, you've got to add more zeros for that.
Does anyone know this one?
It all goes very.
And who was the person who said they were not going to get any of these, Dora? You have just done it again. Well done, Dora, with quintessence.
It's like,
That's the correct answer.
I might find it in that one, mightn't I?
Hey. And the last question. A series of 4 concentric discs used alongside this technology was invented by Sergeant Francis M. Metcalf, but was never widely adopted. What is this technology?
4 concentric discs.
Come on, I expect Alan will know this one. Luther Rose used mule teams equipped with the technology to great effect during the Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse. What is this technology? Not television, no. Anson Stager oversaw a military organisation dedicated to this technology. What was this technology? Not alternating current, not Pink Floyd reissues, no. I like
All
the
right, hit him
answer.
with the Pink Floyd reissues. I'll never withstand that.
Yeah. George Beardsley developed a portable system for using this technology, which proved instrumental to Ambrose Burnside's forces at the Battle of Fredericksburg. What is this technology? Not the space ray, not the wheel, not radar, no, not the machine gun,
Fredrickson, that
not
was
artillery.
that the War of
No.
Independence or the Revolutionary?
I can't
Yeah.
read the
Albert
Civil War.
Civil, that was it.
Albert Myers oversaw a wartime department that developed this technology alongside an aerial system referred to as wigwams. What is this technology?
You're on the right track, Carl Edwards. The efficiency of this technology led it to gradually replace the use of line-of-sight semaphores in the US Signal Corps. What is this technology? Not sonar, not balloons. That's it, farmer's boy.
Trying to think of
No,
the,
it replaced
with
semaphores, Dora.
sort of the time scale or the years we're talking about.
And the person who says that these questions were beyond her has got an answer. Wireless telegraphy, you're right, Alan. Well done, Andrea Huddle out there. What electronic technology enabled fast wartime communication and was invented by Samuel Morse? The telegraph, or telegraphy, was the correct answer. Well done, Andrea. You did get an answer indeed. Yeah.
Well, when I do this bit, I hit the stop video button. That was the trade badge for telegraphers and then more widely radio and radar in the Royal Air Force.
The hell did 4 concentric discs have to do with that?
Yeah, I've got to look that up too. But the thing is that never took off. So, yeah.
Whatever it wasn't actually that good an idea.
Yeah,
because they didn't use it.
There you go. There was your quiz for today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Absolute bloody stinkers.
Oh, what's going on here? People moving around.
I don't know.
People were moving around. John Rapp's doing some Morse code.
SOS, why, John? Careful, I'm still pretty proficient in that shit.
Never was, never will be.
Oops, I got too many tabs open. I was plucking some videos and I ended up with too many. I got Entov, Petrov. Could these 830 million year old microbes found in salt really be alive? First time ever plants grow in actual lunar soil. Where's Wally? Taking the mickey out of next level server and friends. Everett Anderson, Flat Earther explains North Pole. Another Everett, Flat Earther exposes chemtrails. Simon's Facebook Science versus Real Science. The Entov Petrov more Antikythera Mechanism secrets revealed is what my thumbnail is alluding to. Flat Earther goes to the museum. Everett.
Yes, Mikey.
Simon Dan, is the dark side of the moon actually dark? So that's your lineup. Now,
But of course, the dark side of the moon is always dark. The real question is that the side? Is that always the side we see?
Well, you could just quote the last line on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. There is no dark side of the moon. Matter of fact, it's all dark.
Okay, so I found out what the 4 concentric discs were.
Oh, yeah.
2 at each end. One, like, they were used as a cipher.
So on the inner disc were 30 spaces around the circumference of the disc
Yeah.
that had the letters of the alphabet and like terminators and stuff like that, like full stops and commas. And on the outer disc were signals that were to be sent, so you could line up the discs and send what was supposed to be sent, but not the actual sentence. And so with a prearranged key that was sent previously, the person at the other end could line up their discs in the same way that you lined up your discs when you sent it. So it's kind of like an early version of the Enigma machine.
Yeah. See how it didn't catch on though.
Stuff they still use now. Oddly enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see why the other system sort of took over.
Oh, automated systems are great, but you know, when you're in the field and you need to send certain messages and you want them encrypted, it makes it really, that sort of thing makes it actually pretty quick and easy to do.
Oh, Limey's back. You got your table, Limey? You can auction off your rickety old ironing board?
Oh, 15-minute reminder. Gosh.
Oh, you're going to miss out on the videos, aren't you?
Well, in all honesty, I've seen some of them, but yeah, I am. That is the downside of working from home and trying to do this at the same time. At some point, some git wants to talk to me.
Well, I was going to play the Antikythera Mechanism second last. So I've narrowed it down to 4. And I've got a Wally to start with.
Well, we like a Wally.
Yeah.
Got to be careful because that means something over here sometimes.
Okay. I don't know where he's been lately. I've seen him around, but I just haven't spoke to him lately.
He's been a bit. If this is what I'm thinking of, there might not actually be too much to watch.
It goes for 16 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but you'll see.
Oh, okay. I'll see. Spoiler
You'll
alert.
see. Yeah, spoiler alert. You'll see. That would be the bin men.
The Wally video is boring. Too much text to read.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Wally, what'd you do that for? Well, it goes for 16 minutes. We might
Well, watch the first couple of minutes, and you'll get the idea,
drift,
and you'll see that you don't. Yeah.
Okay then.
G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Yeah, look, I know it's been a while, but I've been hanging around Next Level server. Maybe just a little bit too much because I'm now ranked at number 6. Oh dear, I don't think they really like that. I guess I've been amusing myself a little bit too much there. But I've been forgetting that part of my job is to amuse.
Oh, one time I was over there with Wally on that Discord, and he was in the side chat, and I was in the voice chat, and something to do with the roles, and I'm talking to Wally over in the side chat about roles, and I said, "Oh, could I have a role, please?" And I ended up getting a role, and then Wally said, "Oh, could I get a role, please?" And there was a big kerfuffle about Wally getting a role, but because I got one, and I just asked nicely. Oh, this was a while back now. It was funny. Yeah, it was funny.
You guys. So, what follows is a nice big video recording of what happened last night. Little Mickey Jones, my little buddy, he was having problems with Starman. Well, started the other day, I said something about Starman, and J-Ro just put up a comment, tyres, but then he wouldn't tell me why. I think I knew why. He thought they were going to explode, or they should have exploded, and if they didn't explode, therefore it was all fake. Well, it took a little while to extract the truth out of these guys, and a lot of toing and froing. But eventually I got to the tin tacks. Yes, they thought that the tyres should explode, and they didn't explode. But as I joyfully pointed out, you only ever see one tyre once the Tesla Roadster has been launched, and you only see it for part of the time because there's actually 3 cameras, and you only see it from one of the 3 cameras, or the engineering cameras. And of course it could have slow leaked out, but obviously if there was going to be a problem, some really smart rocket scientists wouldn't have bothered putting air in it in the first place. They would have just taken the valves out.
Yeah, just
Kind of
took the
easy.
valve out of it.
But these guys, well, they've really got to find it.
They never had any weight on them,
don't they?
No.
They see the image of the Tesla Roadster on the mount being prepared, and they think that's a sound stage, that's a video stage. That's where they put big video screens all inside that and just film the whole thing. Well, yeah, no, that's not what happens at all. But then after a lot more backwards and forwards, they eventually come back with, someone noticed some specular highlights on the helmet of Starman. But of course, when you have a really close look a little bit earlier, you see that the helmet has actually got quite a little profile cut into it, and there's multiple flat surfaces that reflect the light all at the same time. No big problem at all. But the funnest part was young Mickey Jones. He's sitting there telling me you can see the entire circle of the Earth is lit, yet the side of the vehicle close to you is not. Doesn't work, therefore it's fake. But I kept telling him, I had to tell him about 6 or 7 times, yes, but you can't see the bottom part of the circle. And when you zoom back in the video about 2 or 3 minutes, you see that there is a terminator there. The sun is actually slightly behind the car, behind vertical from the car, which is why the side of the car is in shadow and therefore dark. Anyway, there's such a lot of toing and froing going on here, and I thought I'd just share it with you guys. You feel free to pause as you go along and have a little bit of a look at the silliness that some of these guys put up. And of course, when you get Mickey all caught up, he just jumps back and grabs something else that he thinks you had you on once before, which is one of his tells. You know you've got him as soon as he starts looking back at some of the other things he thinks you had you on and jumps away from the subject. And I guess we're just going to have to wait for Kevin to finally decide to tell me what his great debunk of Starman is. He says he knows it's fake, but he just won't tell me. I wonder why. And finally, one last request for those of you who like to have a bit of fun. Next time you run into Mike Jones in the wild, can you do me a favour? Don't say hello to him from Where's Wally, but do this. Use the words Mickey and use the word rake face. He loves the Simpsons story where Sideshow Bob keeps stepping on rakes and getting swapped in the face. Well, that is Mickey. I call him rake face all the time. I think he likes it. So, next time you see him, say hello to him. Ask him if he's misunderstood any science lately. Something like, "Hi Mickey, have you misunderstood any science lately, and how are those rakes to the face going?" I'm sure he'll love it. Oh, but before we go, I had a run-in with Mike and J Rowe a few days earlier about the tyres on the Starman. I had a run-in with Mike and J Rowe a few days earlier about the tyres on the Tesla. They were absolutely sure that they should explode or some sort of thing, but of course, even if they did have air in them, which they probably didn't, the technicians probably just took the valves out anyway, they would easily handle the extra 15 psi. But when I was talking with Wolfie about it, well, here, let Wolfie tell you. Oh, thanks, mate. That's absolute gold. Of course, those tyres going to almost vacuum and having, 290 psi? My goodness. And they don't explode. Of course, the flatties will just say, yes, well, they're special tyres. They were designed for that, weren't they? They'll always have an excuse because they just want it to be fake. Thanks, guys.
So this is the left-hand side main landing gear on the Global 7500. And this is the tyre pressure sensing wand. We place it over the cap and press the button. You can see that the tyres are inflated to 213 psi. This aircraft can operate up to 51,000 feet, and at 50,000 feet The atmospheric pressure is just 1.6 psi, and the tyres handle that easily. Going to the vacuum of space is just another 1.6 psi difference. I don't think it would be any problem at all for these tyres. These flat earthers who think the tyres on the Tesla that was sent into space should burst don't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they could have just been sent up with, even with the valves in it, with just no air in them.
Yeah, but even if they'd got air in them, if they were, I mean, tyres on my car I generally run at 36 psi. So that's 36 psi inside, 14.5 psi out. Launch that car into space, and now it's got 36 psi inside, and to all intents and purposes, nothing outside. So that's just a difference of 36 psi. Why would the tyres explode? They wouldn't. They're not that weak. You know, the whole thing's a nonsense. Oh, why didn't the tyres explode? Why? Well, why do you expect them to? The pressure differential is still so small. You know, it's just basically, you know, a little bit more than doubled. And it's got a pressure differential of 36 psi. Well, that's not going to make the tyre explode.
Yeah, it's a bit more than that though, farmers, because when you're measuring the 36 psi with your tyre gauge, you're measuring gauge pressure. You're not measuring absolute pressure. The actual absolute pressure in your tyre is about 50.
Because it's 36 plus the 14.5, yeah.
The 14.7 atmospheric to get your 36.
But even so, that's still not going to make the tyre explode.
No, not by any means.
No. I mean, I'd be very surprised if they did actually let the air out of the tyres. They might have done, but I bet they didn't even worry about it because it was nothing to worry about, you know.
And even pulling the valve out.
The smaller the tyre, usually the higher the pressure. I mean, I used to put regularly up to about 60 psi in my bike tyres.
Yeah, I think I'd run them on round about the same pressure, actually. I think my bike's on about 35, and none of my car's on 36. Right, I'm going to have to leave you guys to it. I don't know how long these 2 meetings are going to take, but...
Yeah, well, it's just a lot of reading there from there on.
Yeah, that is the downside of that. It's basically reading the chat as he was...
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, I think my old wheelchair with the pneumatic tyres worked best at about 70 psi.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Well, if you're not back by the time we finish, Farmer, I'll talk to you later.
Yep. All right then, mate. Yeah, take it easy.
Okay, what have we got here? Flat Earth explains North Pole. Okay. Interesting. I'll mute that for a sec.
So, anyways, I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but basically the root of everything that's going on in the world right now is at the North Pole.
Do tell.
The government, or whatever you want to call it, the people have still been going there, and they have been working on a tower.
What's wrong with your dog?
Which is the same tower as in ancient times that they're rebuilding.
Motherfuckers.
There is no North Pole on maps. There's no... When you look at, like, symbols are everywhere. They put it everywhere, so...
You don't say.
Basically, all the money they get, they put it towards that tower. The tower should be... I don't know what the power should be really are. I don't want to sound really crazy, but...
Of course.
There's some other entities that are involved. That are involved in the government and whatever else, so... I mean, I know I sound like a nut right now.
I'm perfectly sane.
Look at Paramount Pictures. and Columbia Pictures. The way the powers that be always do stuff is with twos. You got Coke, Pepsi, Chevy, Ford, but they're both them. And you got Paramount and Columbia. Columbia is the whore of Babel.
Stop mumbling! Freddy's got no choice.
Look at the way the words are too. After Babel, they always do the words have multiple meanings. So you got Paramount. What does that mean? It means for the mount. It also means surrounding the mount. Par amount means for the mount, surrounding the mount, and of paramount importance. Then you get to over here, and she's a bit pregnant again, carrying like Lucifer. You know, his face is Apollo 2, which is basically the Antichrist or whatever.
What the fuck are you babbling about?
I just wanted to start the process of talking about this to people and see if anybody out there understands as well.
Nope.
This is just a quick rundown of what's really going on in the world today and what we're going to be enlightened to here soon enough. The reason they aren't telling us what they're doing is because nobody would agree to it. We wouldn't let this happen.
I know.
Everybody want to go there. It'd be insanity, you know. So for the time being, they're keeping it under wraps and they're just playing everybody for fools and they're just gaining more control.
Send those fuckers into the stratosphere!
I got no idea what that guy was down on about. That was just, yeah, okay. Where do you find these people? Wow. You forgot the S to try to tag me, Limey. What are you doing? Oh, he wants a late note. Well, you got to bring a late note, Limey. Okay. So we watch Anton about the Antikythera Mechanism because it's supposed to be a new revealed for it. Get all that ready. Here we go.
Hello Info-Person, this is Anton, and in this video we're going to be discussing, well, actually, this right here, the very mysterious Antikythera Mechanism. The strange archaeological discovery found in 1901 in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece, very close to a Greek island known as Antikythera. The island a little bit to the northwest of Crete. And in this case, this was a completely accidental discovery, a discovery of several very unusual gear-looking pieces that were calcified and were relatively brittle as well, and that looked somewhat unusual for that period. Specifically because the other parts discovered in the shipwreck were dated to be at least 2,200 years old. They were most likely created around 200 BC, somewhere in ancient Greece. And initially, for the first 100 years after the discovery of this mechanism, a lot of scientists at first assumed that it was some kind of an ancient compass-like mechanism, very likely used in navigation. But it was actually more recently, in the 2000s, or basically in the 21st century, with the advance of X-ray scanning technologies, that the scientists realized that this was something a little bit more complex. Way more complex. It turned out to be the oldest example of what we refer to as an analog computer. The first mechanism that used a lot of really complex gears, involving very advanced engineering techniques and most likely used in various types of astronomy, with the internal gear structure involving a very complex network never before seen in anything until some of the more recent creations in the last few hundreds of years. In other words, this particular discovery really shocked the archaeologists and even shocked a lot of scientists, especially in the last few decades, as they discovered more and more about this mechanism by performing a lot of different scans. And so in this video we're going to discuss a couple of recent papers that go through some of the major discoveries in regards to this unusual computer and try to answer some of the more simple questions such as what exactly was it made for and when was it created as well. And both of these questions are really difficult to answer. For example, there are actual quotes from various ancient Greeks, such as Cicero, that do mention mechanisms being produced and in existence around that time, but they don't specifically mention what these mechanisms are or what exactly they were used for. As a matter of fact, some of the more recent machines with similar complexity only appeared around the 14th century, produced by Richard of Bollingford. A lot of these were also a type of an astronomical clock that were in use for hundreds of years. The one located in the Old Town Square in Prague is one of the most famous ones. But the mechanism found in Greece unfortunately was way too damaged, and the shipwreck itself contained a lot of random stuff. It contained some statues, it contained some coins, and for the most part it didn't really point at any one specific person that created this. And actually, one of the expeditions by the famous Jacques Cousteau back in the 70s discovered several coins around the shipwreck that might have come from the ancient city of Pergamon that's famous for a location known as the Library of Pergamon, the second most important library in the ancient world after the Library of Alexandria. And so one of the potential assumptions was that it might have been coming either from the library or to the library, and might have been essentially a kind of exhibit. But there were also some other stuff discovered around the shipwreck, including vases and different types of jewelry that most likely came from another island known as Rhodes. And this was a location of an ancient academy founded by Posidonius, a brilliant man of his time that was able to use a lot of astronomical techniques to, for example, create a world map, and to even use several very interesting techniques to try to measure the circumference of Earth, producing a value that was extremely close to the actual value of how large our planet is. And so it's not entirely impossible that either Posidonius himself or someone related to him might have produced this device for one reason or another. More interestingly, it was recently discovered that this mechanism would most likely work best for only certain types of latitudes, specifically between 33.3 and 37 degrees. And those are the latitudes where Rhodes is located as well, suggesting that it might have been created in these particular conditions around that particular island. And it was also most likely one of at least 3 different devices. But once again, who made them is still a mystery even today. But even though we can't really answer the question of who made this, it became possible to answer the question of what this is and what it was made for. And as I mentioned, it only became possible because of the scanning techniques available to us in the last few decades. By scanning through this rust and all of the external deposits, the scientists, whose paper you can find in the description, determined that this was way more complex than originally thought. For example, there were at least 37 relatively small and relatively complex interconnected gears that allowed for various types of movement. And there were also tiny inscriptions visible on certain parts as well. And these inscriptions were all mentioning astronomical concepts, 5 classical planets, and various patterns formed by zodiacal constellations that would generally allow to predict various patterns forming in the night skies, specifically predicting the motion of planets in the night skies, predicting things like eclipses, and even predicting certain types of irregular orbits of the moon, and most likely using this device to be able to predict various astronomical events in advance. And so in the last decade or so, several teams tried to recreate this device and tried to actually create a model, a working model of this device, with several teams succeeding to some extent. Now, one of the, more interesting models was the one created out of Legos. You can learn a little bit more about this in the video in the description below, but essentially back in 2010, one of the teams recreated the model out of Legos, with the Lego model being able to predict various cycles of eclipse and also working as a functional calendar. But the actual recreation of a working device involved making something that looks like this, something that's the size of a shoebox, with the device most likely containing 2 sides and a crank to drive this on the side. And one of the sides would show when certain eclipses would occur, as well as most likely predicting a lot of other important events, although which ones we're not entirely sure. And the backside also serving as a type of a calendar, but also surprisingly serving as a kind of a predictor for when the next Olympic Games, the ancient Olympic Games, would take place. Unlike the modern Olympics that happens every 4 years, the time for ancient Olympics would actually involve the astronomical calculations normally using the lunar cycle, and more specifically using what's known as the 19-year Metonic cycle, which relies on the moon. And apart from the Olympics and just being a general calendar, it also had some other dates, including the dates for potential harvest. So basically this was a multi-purpose tool, very likely using astronomical knowledge for a lot of different events, which would explain why this was such a complex mechanism involving so many gears. But because of the limited inscriptions on the device, and also because we don't really have much else to go on here, and also because this was such a complex device, in order to try to understand this better and to try to figure out exactly what this is for, and who might have been responsible for producing this, one of the ways the scientists have been trying to solve this is by trying to figure out when the counting in the calendar started, or essentially trying to figure out the first day of count on this particular device. Because by figuring out the so-called 0 day on the calendar, it might become possible to work out exactly where this was made, who made this, simply because we have other dates around the same time that could point at someone else's contribution. And to some extent would also help us understand what this was made for, because by knowing when this was created, we might be able to connect this to some other events. And so, through the use of limited inscriptions on the device and by basically trying to recreate this using computer modeling, there have been at least 2 major propositions in the last few years on what the most likely day 0 is on this device. For example, the researchers from University College London, with a paper in the description below, suggested that a lot of the computations here were based on a 223 lunar month interval beginning in 204 BC. Today we know that on May 12th of 204 BC there was a lunar eclipse that might have started the counting process. But this more recent paper proposes a slightly different date that's based on an even more unusual event. December 22nd of 178 BC might represent a very interesting 0 date. On that day there was a solar eclipse that lasted for approximately 12 minutes, and following the eclipse the next day there was also a winter solstice, a very important day for a lot of different ancient people. And this was also a day of celebration for a lot of ancient Greeks and a lot of ancient Egyptians, known as the Iliad festival. All of this happened on that one day. And December 22nd, on top of this, was also a beginning of a new phase of the moon. So because of these unusual coincidences, and because all of this happened basically on December 22nd, 178 BC, the scientists in this paper suggest that maybe this was the 0 day, at least it would have been a perfect 0 day for this particular machine. But other scientists suggest that maybe all of this was just a big coincidence. What is clear though is that this was an important achievement for ancient Greeks, and when the complexity of this machine was discovered in the 21st century, it entirely transformed our understanding of the complexity of ancient Greek engineering. It also sort of implied that there could be other machines similar to this, potentially even hundreds of them, that are still to be discovered or might have been completely lost to history for one reason or another. But because we've only started to understand exactly what this is in the last decade or so, it will probably take some time to answer some of the other questions, including the questions of origins and the exact purpose. But what is certain now is that this is definitely an example of a first analog computer and the first extremely complex astronomical tool used for a lot of different predictions back in the days. Something that after this took approximately 1500 years to recreate, and something that would have been lost to history completely if it wasn't for that accidental discovery in 1901 by divers who were actually looking for seafood. But I guess until we discover something else, or until future studies, or future models that try to recreate this in even more detail, that's all I wanted to mention. Check out the relevant papers and relevant links in the description below, including the video from Stanford University that goes into more detail in the description below. On that note, thank you for watching, subscribe, maybe share this with someone who loves learning about space and sciences, and maybe come back tomorrow to learn something else. Support the channel on Patreon by joining channel membership or by buying the Wonderful Person t-shirt you can find in the description. Stay wonderful, I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, bye bye.
Bye bye. Alright, now before we go to the next video, what did I do with that? Turn that off. Where did I put it?
Hi all, by the way.
Hello, Limey.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Very good.
Your new table looks a bit shaky.
I haven't put it together yet. I only just got back. You know?
What some assembly required?
Yeah, it's flat packed. And that I bought it from Argos, and then because the closest Argos is in, well, it's in like a couple towns over. I got it delivered to, you can pick it up from Sainsbury's. So yeah, I'm going to put it together later on today after I get tonight's video finished.
Oh, okay. You don't want to do a live assembly.
No, not in here. There's no bloody space. I'm gonna have to basically, I think, just throw like the laptop, the spare monitor, the speakers, the mic, everything on the bed out the way,
to make room.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
How big is it?
It
600 long by 400 deep or something, or no, 5.
No, it's
450.
like 100 and I think it's 120 long.
Whoa.
49 deep.
I'm talking we talk centimeters here, not inches.
I'm talking centimeters. It's a slim table.
Oh, okay.
My bedroom is tiny.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be too much bigger than an ironing board to fit in.
Yeah. Has it got any drawers or anything, or just a table?
Yeah, it's got 3 shelves, 3 drawers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be handy.
Well, post a pic in the Discords when you after you throw all your equipment on top of it and everything, how your layout is.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll share one in there. Yeah.
How many monitors do you reckon you'll end up with?
I wouldn't mind a third one for streaming, but I mean, as far as just putting videos together and stuff, like two's more than enough at the moment. But yeah, like, I don't know, there's definitely times during a stream where I think, a third one would be quite nice. But then I don't know if I'll have space for a third one, really. I've barely got enough space right now with the second one. I don't know. Figure it out.
I think that's the thumbnail I used for the stream. Yeah, they're trying to find a calibration mark on it somewhere to set 0. When an unknown genius sat down more than 2,000 years ago to design and build an astronomical instrument, chances are good that he or she didn't think of that entire academic institutions devoted to solving its mysteries would one day be established. But such is the enduring nature of the Antikythera Mechanism, the gift from antiquity that keeps on giving long after being dredged up from a shipwreck in the Aegean Sea. And now, new research on the ancient mechanism reveals that like other mechanical calendars, the Antikythera Mechanism has a day 0, or a minimum possible date that it can display. The analysis by a team led by that guy gets deep into the weeds of astronomical cycles, which the mechanism was designed to simulate using up to 37 separate years, 30 of which have been found. The cycle of concern is the Saros, a 223 lunar month cycle of alignments between the Earth, Sun and Moon. The Saros can be used to predict eclipses, astronomical events of immense importance in antiquity, particularly annular eclipses, which occur when the Moon is at an apogee and therefore eclipses less of the Sun's surface. The researchers looked at historical annular eclipse data and found that Saros cycle 58 had a particularly long annular eclipse on the 23rd of December 178 BCE. The eclipse would have been visible at sunrise in the eastern Mediterranean, and coupled with other astronomical goodies, like the proximity to the winter solstice, the Sun entering Capricorn and the Moon being new and at apogee, which was probably so culturally significant to the builder that it could serve as the initial date for calibrating all the mechanism's pointers and dials. Have we got more? Others differ with that take, of course, saying that the evidence points even further back to a start date in summer of 204 BCE. In any case, if like us you can't get enough Antikythera, be sure to check out. Okay. Yeah, we did do a little bit of Antikythera back a long time back. I don't know which episode it was. You'd have to look on my channel to see which one it was. Get more views back on a previous video that way, won't I? If I
You'll need to link to it though, Tommy. You got the link for it.
Yeah, I'd have to post a link for that. Wait a minute, I'll get rid of that. Go back there. So I have to go back in my channel to find that one. My channel. Geez, it'd be a while back when we were doing ancient technologies. It should have a thumbnail of the rusted one where they found it on the seashore. Or corroded, if that's the word. Telescopes, Foucault pendulums. Electric cars, trains, steam trains, steam. Glass making. I don't know if that's it or not. Oh, that one has 2 minutes. That's not it then. I don't know which one it was now. I'm still scrolling down. No, I think I've lost which one it is. I'm going back 2 years so far. That's the only one I can find that's got the thumbnail for it. I'm just having a look through the stream to see if I can find. We talked about it.
There are probably only a very few people that would.
Okay.
Hang on, that was my voice. It sounds all wrong. I hate the way that voice sounds.
Well, that's how you sound.
I know it's how I sound.
Okay, so that goes back to the video we did about it back then. I think we were just reading some information about it. I thought there was some more other. Oh yeah, a little bit after that, there's some other stuff. Okay. Alright, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Alright. As Andrea, what's... Some fresh blood is needed to bring down the age of the panel. Terry standards dropping. What's going on? Did I miss a conversation?
That, cheeky bastards.
Yeah, I know. I must have missed something back in there. I know they have their own little conversation out there. You got to keep an eye on them sometimes, Limey.
Yeah, I always forget to open up that window.
Yeah, because you might miss out on something, and they'll let something slip.
You know, I do need to. I think tomorrow, haircut and go down to a goatee.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh, Dora said I stepped out for work.
I'm starting to get some bloody grey though.
Dora said I stepped out for a work call, and someone let Limey in. So that's Dora.
Yeah, hi Dora.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Carl.
I got it open now. I got it open. It's
And
because I had it on
Carl-
my phone and then I didn't think to open it.
And Carl's got to run away too. Okay, we missed saying goodbye to
Yeah,
Carl.
Carl's working, I think, so he's hanging out while working.
Oh, bye, Carl. We missed out. We'll
Yeah.
finish off with you come right at the end, Limey, but we'll finish off
Yeah,
with
no
Simon.
worries. I
and
figured
then-
I'd probably miss most of it, but I wanted my table, and it was conveniently next to McDonald's.
Yeah, that's
So I would have went to McDonald's first because you've been a bit awkward carrying the table into McDonald's.
Well, I had had the vehicle and my driver, but
Oh, that's what I was going to say because you don't drive.
yeah, I'm not allowed to drive on my meds. So I miss that. I miss fucking driving though. But
yeah, it's horrible.
yeah,
Isn't it?
I mean, I left it in the car. You know, brought the McDonald's in to eat first, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, trying to carry it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, real bitch when they take your driving license away for medical reasons, isn't it?
Oh no, I've still got my driver's license.
Ah,
Like you know, if to be fair, I'd probably be all right driving. You know, because I've been on the medications for like I don't know 5.5 years now. I feel completely normal. But let's say if I did have an accident or something, and you know, like they find out about the prescriptions I'm on, I could basically get the same as a you know drunk driving, basically like driving under the influence. So it's not worth it. And to be fair, I don't really need to go many places, you know.
I thought they had some prescription meds.
Huh?
I thought they had some exceptions for
I think it depends on what they are. I'm on morphine and pregabalin, which are quite strong. So even though I'm used to them now,
yeah, that sounds like something.
I was always told I was fine driving while on the morphine.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I got told that best not to. So,
is the one you're on Limey Pregabalin?
It's pregabalin's like nerve. For nerve
yeah, I got
stuff.
Mine's the same, but it's pregabalin. It might be. It's a nerve tablet. Oh yeah, pregabalin. It is too. If I read the box, it says it. Pregabalin. Yeah. Same one.
Yeah,
How many of them a day you got to take?
Just 1 300 ml.
Yeah.
Twice a day.
I take mine once a night. I've already taken mine.
Yeah.
I used to take
one
two.
in the morning and
I used to
one
take
evening.
two, but when I didn't realise that I only needed to take one.
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
Yeah, I take two 25s, one in the morning, one in the evening. But my doctor's taking me, the pain clinic doctor's taking me off them because they apparently can affect your cognitive.
They do.
abilities, like
They do.
memory and stuff.
I wouldn't have liked to have been driving when I had the two of them that time.
And I just don't know where, because I've got other underlying health issues that cause me the same short-term cognitive problems. They thought it was better to take me off just in case it's either making it worse or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been like reducing my morphine a bit, which like sucks because now, you know, now I'm always in pain. I was on at one point I was on like 120 mil twice a day, and I was living pretty much pain free, but they've got me down to 20 mil on that twice a day, or micrograms it really is, isn't it, MG?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying to they were trying to wean me off because I was supposed to be going in for, like, you know, they're going to do the procedure where they knock you out and do a couple different types of injections in your spine or whatever. And then that got cancelled because of the pandemic. But they've kept me on the low dose. And then, I don't know, I guess all the rules changed during the pandemic. So now I've been referred back to the pain chronic pain team,
Mm.
I've got to go through all the assessments again before they refer me back to the surgeon.
Yeah,
So,
I was advised by a few doctors that I've seen that not to get anything else done to it, like any surgeries or any treatments, because I could end up worse than what I am.
yeah,
So I've got to.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously, because I don't want to be. Well, they don't want to keep you on pain meds the rest of your life because it's not good for you. And when I'm not on the pain meds, like I'm doubled over in pain, and like, no word of a lie, I'm at the point where if it was choosing between not having any procedure done at all and choosing between, we can do a procedure 100%, take the pain away but leave you paralyzed from the waist down, I'd still take the procedure, because I've spent weeks without meds, and there's no way I could live my life like that. It is too it's so bloody horrible.
My dilemma is if I go out in the shed and I'll subconsciously do the work without thinking, and regret it. Because I've got to be conscious of what I'm doing. Like I've got to the point where I've got tools and equipment to help with any straining myself or lifting anything, and so I've got to be careful. Like I hurt myself the other week, a few weeks back. I was in the boot of the car, folded myself up to get in there to weld, and I'm still regretting it now.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just forget, don't you? Like, when my niece and nephew come over to visit, my nephew's still like 11, so sometimes like roughhouse, and I'll pick him up, and even just the weight of him, like if I pick him up wrong, I'm buggered for days. So yeah, I know it's horrible, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
I'll bend over doing something, and I have to consciously take my own weight to do it. If I don't, I can't even stand up.
Yeah, you gotta always bend at the knees, isn't it? Or at least try to remember to, because bending at the back is not good.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're talking about pain, and poor Alan's.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You're not supposed to feel.
He just let out
I was going to say he's not supposed to feel pain just because we're talking about it.
Well, no, but sometimes it just
hits you, yeah. Well, I'm sitting here in a certain. I'm trying to sit here in a certain position without getting a sore back because it's difficult.
Most of my pain control is pretending it doesn't fucking hurt. Excuse the language.
That's okay. It'll go in the swear jar.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it just, I don't know, find a position, try not to move.
Yeah.
And then
how do you find it when you're sitting in a car?
To be fair, like most of the time when I'm sitting, like it hurts. So like I've kind of learned to sort of hunch over so I can overextend that part of my back, because all my pain comes from the vertebrae are like sort of cutting into the nerve root.
Yeah.
So like that's where the pain comes from, and like loss of feeling and all that bollocks. So, but then because I knew, and I'm not supposed to, but because today, I knew I was going to have to lift the table. Like I get liquid morphine as well.
Yeah.
And like for when it gets really bad, so I pre-dosed up before going to get the table, and that's helping right now.
That might help for the pain, but not
the
for
table until tomorrow.
That doesn't help with the nerve part of it though, because the nerve.
No, not so much the nerve part, but I mean the pregabalin helps pretty good. I think a lot of it as well is, I think it's just a lot of it's just being used to it, isn't it? Like I've been in pain 24/7 since like November 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think like you learn to tune some of it out. And like I say, the meds don't get rid of the pain, but like as long as I don't overstrain myself, they take the edge off enough.
Yeah,
to
they
cope,
do.
you know. But that's about it.
But you've got to be careful. They're not masking what you like. I do if I go and do something where I'm not supposed to do, and I've had the tablets and. Yeah, I'm not in any pain. I'm right. I can lift this up or bend over because I'm not feeling any pain at the time.
Yeah. Well, like I say, like picking up the table today, like I'll feel that tomorrow. But you know, I've got the liquid morphine to get me through the day.
Yeah.
And you know, normally the day after, I'll try not to, you know, because the liquid morphine is to use sparingly. You know, like no more than 3 times a day, and only when the pain's really bad. So, like tomorrow, I'll just try to get through the day on the pills, and we'll see.
You want to know where I got with the Oromorph?
Hmm?
You want to know how far I got with doing the Oromorph?
How far?
Swigging it out of the bottle.
Oh yeah, no, I do that. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like I am pretty
3 times a day, they
close
say.
to exact. Like I know, you know, from doing it with the you know, with the measurement syringe thing, like I'm pretty bloody good at knowing when I've got like a dose or so in my mouth. So yeah, you know.
Well, that tiny bit extra doesn't hurt.
Right, you know.
Even if it is 100% more than you're supposed to have. This was probably. I mean, I was doing 240 milligrams of the Zomorph, the capsule, slow stuff a day, so 120 twice a day, and then I was doing at least that much Oromorph on top.
Okay.
And now I
we just need one more Yorkshireman for this conversation.
Hey?
We just need one more Yorkshireman for this conversation.
Yes, we do. Well, we'll finish off on Simon, and then because he's only got a little minute 45 short again, so we'll finish off on that one. Yeah, we don't want to talk about pain too much because it is a bit of a pain to talk about pain.
Yes, yeah, it can be.
And give it about 40 years, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'll live that long, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's see. I'm 52 years into it now, or thereabouts.
Yeah, I'll be 42 years into it next month, but
No.
I've lived with it. See me pushing high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
I've lived with the back pain that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's only been 38 years.
If I knew not to pick up those 40...
Oh, do you mean for how long the back's been hurting? I thought you were talking about how long... You know,
no, that's how long Blue's put up with it.
52... Yeah. Blue, you can't be that old, can you?
You
don't sound old.
I'm 72.
Yeah, he's 10 years older than me.
Really?
He's 10 years older than me.
Fuck off, really? Dude, 72 and you built Cavendish. That's amazing.
By hand.
Well, it's an old experiment. You need an old guy to build it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And old tools.
That is well impressive, though.
And old tools, yeah.
See, this is why you can't judge someone by their voice, really, you know, because, yeah, you sound pretty youthful, you know.
Yeah, he sounds at least about 35.
Right, you know, it's got to be that southern drawl, you know.
Got to be. That's what it is.
It's fucking fantastic.
Well, no one believed how old I was.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, going by your picture, I mean, yeah, you look quite young. Those pixels look very smooth on that flag. Fuck, I've got no idea what you look like, Terry. Actually, yeah, I think you've always been a flag when I'm chatting to you.
No, look, there you go. Yeah. I'll do a Mr. 42.
Yeah, that's right.
I can do Mr. 42. See?
You don't even look 72, Blue. You look maybe late 40s, early 50s.
Oh, good grief.
Shit. What's the secret to aging that well?
I don't know. Right, a lot of whiskey that helps. I think.
All right, let's play.
Side of the moon, really dark. At some point in human history, probably because of the band Pink Floyd, it became general consensus that the far side of the moon was actually dark. Out of sight, out of mind. We never see it, so it must be dark, right? Wrong. It's no darker than anything else in the solar system, and in actual fact is light for half of its orbit around Earth. The moon is in a synchronous orbit, and its rate of rotation is what we call tidally locked with that of Earth's. This essentially means that the moon has been orbiting Earth for so long that the amount of time it takes to orbit Earth and the amount of time it takes to rotate on its axis is exactly the same. And this amount of time is 27.3 days. Now, to us here on Earth, this same face of the moon will always be constantly facing us because of this tidally locked orbit. However, the side facing the sun for the moon will constantly change. Think about it. During a new moon, where the moon is almost invisible to us, the dark side of the moon from our perspective is being constantly roasted with UV radiation. There's other flavours of radiation available, by the way. So there we go, the dark side of the moon is always going to be the side of the moon that's facing away from the sun, not the side that's facing away from us. Tell your family and your friends, I've been Simon Dan, this has been a Misconception Mini, and I'll see you next time. Down there and over there for all the stuff. See you later.
That was a quickie. Yeah, there's no dark side to the moon. I mean, there can be a dark side opposite the sun. That's it. Oh, that's your lot for the videos. Where are we? Back to there. Back to there. Hey. Dark side of the sun. Yeah, I forgot about the dark side of the sun.
I thought that was the black hole at the back of the sun.
Oh, yeah. But it's dark. So how do you know it's a hole?
It's a bit rude talking about someone's black hole anyway. You know,
Well, we're not discriminating. We're not discriminating. We're just.
What's that?
Dora talking about keeping the light down. I have to say, I am so glad for dark mode on everything these days.
Yeah, I like dark mode, but then like the editor I like using only has like a purple, sort of a purpley tint, I don't know, or like a dark grey. Like there's no light mode. So depending on how bright the sun is outside, sometimes I can't sit out there working because I just can't see the bloody editor. But yeah, normally, yeah, love it.
What I hate is when you go to a website that's set up to be dark mode, but it opens with a completely bright white screen.
I think generally, like for reading, especially like reading black text, they say like a pale yellow is the best background for being easy on the eyes, apparently. But then I'm partially colorblind, so you know I can't tell half the time anyway.
Yeah, my daughter has that type of dyslexia where all the letters seem to jiggle around on the page.
Oh, right. She have those special glasses.
We got her tested, and she has like a really dark blue tint.
Mm.
But when she did the reading score thing, she went. They say you might get like a 10% improvement, 20% improvement. Yeah, she got about a 400% improvement off wearing the glasses.
Jeez, that's amazing.
Yeah, so for her, it really, really worked. The only problem was the glasses weren't covered on the NHS.
Really?
But this was like 10 years ago.
Ah,
Also,
I would have sued them for discriminating against dyslexic people.
you couldn't get this done on the NHS, and it was 250 quid.
Ah,
yeah.
I mean, they can get expensive. When I was in the States, the glasses I bought, and bearing in mind, I had really good insurance on, like, you know, dental and medical, and the vision, it covered the lenses completely, but the frames were $650. But yeah, I was earning a lot more then, and you know, they were Gucci.
Were the lenses a special kind of glass, or not glass, a special kind of colour or colouring into the glass? Like, is that
what, for mine or for the dyslexic
or
ones?
for either?
Alan?
Yeah, the coloured filter is very specific. The testing, they have this machine and it's got hundreds of filters in it, and they can put them in different combinations, and they work out the optimal colour for it to work. And then this is why it was so expensive, because then you have to have the
Nice. I was trying to put the top on without having to have the bloody earphone out for too long, so I didn't miss anything, and it just, I don't know, turned me into a bloody Jedi. Yeah. No, I do. I miss the glasses like I had, like that was my first time owning the, you know, the transition ones.
Yeah,
so they turn to sunglasses when you go outside. Them. Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah, they are. They are.
You ask when you come indoors, because it takes it a while.
Yeah, you walk inside and people think you got sunglasses on.
Yeah, yeah. But I thought they were great. Really, definitely cool. But
I've still got to wear sunglasses over my glasses when I'm driving.
Nice. Have you got them big ones that go over them then?
Yeah, the ones that fit over the whole glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. See, that's what I don't know. I need either them or like the clip-on, or
I want to get some of the little clip-on ones.
Yeah, I had prescription sunglasses, and that was fine. You know, just having to, you know, swap glasses when you went outside and that. But
look, I need 3 different pairs of bloody glasses.
Can't you get like varifocals and you know, consolidate them into one pair?
I hate those variable focal glasses.
I don't even know how they work. I mean, obviously, I've heard of them.
It's the thickness of the lens it's different with the focal.
So is it like basically different parts of the lens are for doing different things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a bit dangerous, couldn't it?
It is for me when I'm trying to do welding and body work, because I'll do a straight panel thinking it's straight, it's bloody crooked.
I mean, the lens in my right in this side is such that I've now got quite significant pincushion distortion of looking at my monitor.
Damn.
As a photographer,
have you got one of those?
Because
you can get those screens, can't you? You can get them screens to put over your monitor so that you don't, because obviously staring at a screen all day really does a number on your eyes, and they've got them, I don't know, they're like lightly tinted screens, aren't they, that go over it, and it just, I don't know, it's supposed to stop. I don't know if it'd be worth getting one of those.
Well, yeah, on my really expensive color managed monitor.
Oh yeah, true. Because you do all the stuff with the photos, isn't it? Like you want to, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
One of the reasons I got a really nice monitor was because you can do the color management.
Yeah.
And it
I
res and everything.
Like, yeah, I kind of take a wild stab in the dark when I color manage my, you know, because I do color manage myself a bit when I'm putting the video together. I do the remember you, Alan, you told me like to, you know, you can get quite a nice sort of change by doing the temperature and the tint, and then I add a little color curve, you know, because that seems to, but it, you know, I don't know exactly how good it looks because like my color blindness is basically I can't see all the shades that everyone else can see. I can only see a few, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, you're different. Different
I've
color.
got no idea if it looks good, but it's fun to do.
Your color literacy is different to mine. I have I have problems with certain browns and greens, like a darker green to a brown.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And certain
I get
certain
problems
blues,
with that sometimes, or like navy and black.
Yeah, it has to be a really dark navy.
Yeah, really dark navy. But like I've got one of my favorite t-shirts that I've worn for, you know, like a couple years. I've had it a couple years, and I thought it was black, and then I got told it was navy. But it is apparently very dark. It's got to be dark because I've got navy stuff. Like I've got navy tracksuit bottoms, and I can tell they're navy. You know, either that or my family's winding me up.
Yeah,
you know, like you never know.
Oh, it's like that incident that happened several years back about the green dress. Don't you remember that incident?
Is that is that the dress that like it looks either gold or green, like depending who looks at it? Is that?
Well, I don't know. I can't remember the whole story about it.
Something.
There was a big argument about the colour of this dress. And I thought, well, how trivial.
There's one that I thought it looked blue or black, blue and black, or
maybe
white and gold.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I guess everything's subjective, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, some people see certain colours different than other people.
I know. You got like idiots that see the Earth as flat. So, you know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of panel beating with the spray painting side of things. I've learnt over the years for the tints for certain colours for cars. So that's been helpful for me.
Oh.
See, like that photograph's not supposed to have any red in it, but you still see the strawberries as red. But
is that because your brain knows they're strawberries and expects to see red?
No, it's because
or is there still a little bit of red there?
Yeah, it's a little bit of red there. When you actually take it into Photoshop, it's actually still got some red left in the red channel.
Is that raw? Is that what raw looks like when it comes off the camera?
No, hang on, let me find a.
So why does that picture look like that?
Because somebody's tried to desaturate the red, but hasn't quite got it all the way.
Oh, so they basically just want a picture of strawberries with no red in it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they did it at some point to.
You know some weirdos, didn't you, Alan? No, I guess I can understand. Yeah, because that's kind of cool.
That's the color. That's the color it comes off the sensor with no color balance.
Oh, nice.
And that's also a stitch panorama.
Yeah.
Because Adobe Lightroom will stitch panoramas from your raw images, before you do the color balancing.
That's cool.
So I did that, and then obviously, but I did that to show somebody what it looked like without the color.
Without like does it? Because nowadays it's like most of them have got a specific LUT for whatever camera you're using, don't they?
Yeah, it does. It has lots of. I mean, it's still got the LUT for the camera. It's just not had the color balance.
Okay.
Any color balance.
So why, like, why take raw photos? Like, does it give you more detail?
Yes.
To do it that way before, and then re-add the color after.
You don't. It's a bit complicated because a raw photo isn't RGB.
Right.
Raw photo is
red, green.
A raw photo is just a coloring, is just an intensity value for each pixel. Plus, it's either got a red or a green or a blue filter in front of it. And then when you convert it to an RGB image, which is why you have to always convert raw images. When you convert it to RGB, it basically looks at all the colors around it and works out what the 3 triplet values should be for each pixel location.
Nice.
And that's of course what does the color balance as well.
Well, we'll say our goodbyes now, Alan. This could end up being for another hour talking about photography.
Yeah.
Not to worry.
Oh, thanks, Alan. Thanks, Limey. Did you bring a late note?
Yeah, my mum's gonna drop it off.
Okay. Thanks, Blue. And I'm not going to try to
cheers
pronounce.
For having us, man.
And I'm not going to try to pronounce that Indian guy's name. Brahmagupta or something. Brahmagupta. Yeah. He had something to do with the 0 for math.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool. Well, bye to everyone in chat.
Blue Marble Science was out there. Dora, Brainery, Stevie B.
Dora, I don't.
Carl,
I'll chat to her in the live chat.
Andrea, John. Triggered. Oh, there's a triggered limey out there. Zebulon, Don Giovanni. Farmer's Boy's not going to be back yet. I don't think we're going to see him. He's on a telephone calls. Work related. Carl. Who was that? Oh, Jinxu. Jinxu is there. I've got to keep scrolling up. Grumpy old Gunt. Let's say that the right way. Who else was out there? Oh, 9 o'clock hero, Elmigs, Judy.
Did you get Brainery?
Oh, yeah. No, I missed Brainery. Gary, Gary was out there earlier.
Was he?
Oh, I miss Gary.
Yeah, Gary didn't answer a question, though. He just says good flat Earth Day.
Did he just pop in and say happy flat Earth Day to all?
Yeah, that's all he's done. Yeah, that's all he's done.
Dumb bastard, isn't he?
He doesn't want to contribute to the quiz or anything.
Nah, he doesn't want to contribute to reality either.
Ori Stew.
Bob the science guy.
Where? Is he out there?
Yeah, he's just popped into the chat with a link.
Oh, you're a bit late, Bob.
He's given us a place to go now that you're ending the stream.
Yeah, go and watch. Measuring the speed and altitude of the ISS with a radio.
Yeah, that was timing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having us. See you later. I'm going over there.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, panel. Thanks, Peanuts. Good night, guys.